on the internet, I should believe. Looks like that checks out. Good. Birds out there. Well, folks, for another one of these.
Yeah. Exciting. What will happen? Who will die? I don't know, but someone definitely will. So. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, though?
Right to window. Yes. Isakawa. Here for this. Grand time.
Figured I would do that to announce that I'm back with... Can't remember the last time I had caffeine before doing one of these sessions, but it's been one of those days.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here with both an energy drink and a cup of coffee in front of me.
Yeah.
You know, it's good to have options.
I have an energy drink.
Yeah.
A varied diet is important.
All right.
What kind of caffeine? Sorry,
It is it's a sugar-free Coca-Cola. It's what was in the fridge. I don't really go shopping for, like, that sort of stuff, so it's just what I had on hand.
Well, it's good that it's there.
I guess.
I mean,
Again,
soon it won't be, so...
Again, not really something that I go shopping for. Caffeine is not something I really go looking for. But it's here now. Like me, about to do this recap.
Do it.
Welcome everyone to session 137 of Dreads of the Dragon Coast. Last time was session 136. That's the end of the recap. Just fuck with you here.
Done! Yeah,
Done.
go watch it. Jeez.
Let's see here. I'm going to look through my notes. Our minions got updated, apparently. +4 attack bonus and +80 hit points. That was neat. Earth moats west of the Giants Run Mountains are falling every day. Rifts across the land are closing up as if something was bringing order to chaos. Is continuing to collapse because of the terrible plague. Lord's Alliance is fighting giants at the Great Peak Mountains. The forces of Darkhold are working alongside the Harpers to hold back the giants. Aerie nuked her fucking company, doing work against the Netheril Empire. She did espionage to get an angle for unconventional warfare. And as she drove her company stats to the ground, she was fueled in part through my compulsion. And we haven't resolved that stuff yet, because the siege of Suzail Marsember is ongoing. Cindermoon's like in some sort of fucking tree chrysalis. We won't know her fate. We may never see her again. Gildenfire standing guard over the chrysalis. We'll probably see him again. Martain got freed up. I pushed him into action. Invoked Umberlee, challenged her chosen to come after Martain while we took action on and around the water. The lake just south of Cormyr. But the primary, meat of last session, which I really can't, gussy up in a fucking recap, is all of the mental contemplation that Recicatrix had to go through, as Aerie had to make choices with her dragon for what Recicatrix was going to pursue, like a path to power, potential allegiance, or loyalty. And ultimately, it ended up with Missouri Legionnaire, Recicatrix, and Martaine raiding the flagship of Evander High Castle, the Chosen of Umberlee. We beat them down, won the fight. Martaine claimed God victory. Aerie took Evander's body and items, and just as last session has ended, has buried him on shore. And I raided the treasury of Evander's flagship before it sunk into the sea, the lake.
Yes.
That's it. We leveled up. We're level 28. Woo! Turbo
Woo!
blasting through these levels, bro.
I will level
What's
up. Just killing gods left and right. Well, they're representatives.
Fuck yeah!
Kill the
Man,
messenger,
it didn't
actually.
take long for that camping to already hit me. Okay.
All right, we're expecting a peak in half an hour, and then... right. We have 3 goals currently. Remove the Netherese influence from Sembia, become an Avatar of Malar, and motivate Cormia to go against the Death King. Aerie, what are we at?
Yep. Oh,
Yeah,
gold.
yes,
One more
the
goal.
empty goal slot you've had for a few weeks.
You know, that is a good question. I don't have anything. Like, I am, look at my fucking company. What am I supposed to do?
All right, sure. We'll move on then.
All right,
know?
I will be abandoning a goal,
Mhm.
and it is to become an Avatar of Malar. I think at this
Oh.
point, the world has managed to knock the Green Dragon off of pursuing that course of action. She may pick it back up, but
Not going to push it at the moment.
she's not pushing it at the
All right,
moment.
that
She
leaves
is
us with
too
fewer
locked into
goals than we
decision.
had at the beginning of this conversation, which is rare. All right. We will go straight in to where we left off. Great.
Actually, no, I have a goal. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no, good.
This
What are
is
we
a
doing?
stupid one. I want I want to move an Earth mode to Westgate.
All right. I'll tell you, though, that there is no time for that. That is one of those
Oh.
goals that, at this point, is impossible.
Oh,
You would need to basically use the level 30 ritual to raise land, because all these Earth modes are raining down every day. It's too
right.
late.
Yeah,
Create
that's
an
fair.
Earth mode in
Oh.
Westgate. Or, yeah, that would be a different goal. But,
True. All
yes,
right.
the ones that are out there, it's their own magic cannot
fallen.
sustain them.
Oh, I mean, I was gonna use the ritual, obviously.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Okay.
you'd have to create a new one. A new Earth mode.
Yeah, that's less attractive. Never mind.
No, apologies. But
I
don't
wanted to
wanna
make a
string you along
Cicatrix
there.
Island.
That's the first goal that's been rated as strictly impossible.
Yeah,
I
right.
think, and just like that guy's like,
I
no,
always
you
am
lost
pressing
your chance.
ideas of what's possible.
Put it on there, GM. Impossible rating. Infinite XPs.
XP. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna go dig in
Oh.
Ibrata threads now. No.
Right. So, the ship has sunk. Mist is over the Lake of Dragons, and you're all back shore, feeling probably pretty good about yourselves. In fact, quite empowered. I think at this level of power we're at now, the level up process is really as much something the characters are somewhat aware of, like in a strange sense. You overcame something mighty, and you have been doing that now for a while, and sort of coming to terms with your own level of power as it is advancing rapidly. Or something that it's rare to take that moment to think, well, look at what we just did, and what we did like a few weeks ago, and then a few weeks before that. I have that sense of
It's also unnatural. This isn't how dragons do things.
Oh no, it's very unnatural. Though who knows these days what's natural and what isn't. The world is a
That's right.
madhouse.
Whomst amongst us could say, yes.
As the
Looks to chosen of Sylvanus.
strange amber wooden elf has a new glow to him. Around him, always were the leaves blowing and moving, but at this point, an eerie green light, almost like a tiny motes and wisps, have begun moving around him. And though there isn't any fire around here, once you move to a place that has it, you will notice that his aura will now put out any flame within. Beyond that, he has gotten more powerful. And he feels it too. His face is usually fairly expressionless, it doesn't show much. But at this point, he is gazing out upon the sea. And I think the first thing we'll have him do here is turn to Emisure. She I suppose is happily considering all the money she just got. And all the treasure.
She's reflecting on everything as well as she lands back on the shoreline and the 3.7 million gold pieces and fucking bars and all manner of ancient stuff, and she's gathered. She's not really thinking of Martain right now. She told him to get back to her whenever he decided how he felt about the end of last session.
He reaches a hand out, in contemplation to the sea, and commands the water to move into the sky. As it lifts up in sort of a reverse rain as it begins to evaporate, becoming clouds that form, which he can then allow to fall back down.
Emisure is shaken out of her reverie by divine power.
And with such ease.
Yeah.
As he looks to Emisure and says, "This was a good decision."
Emisure here.
Yeah.
Emisure looks at him and just says flatly, "Didn't take you long." Referring to him not needing long to make up his mind.
Mm-hmm. The Oak Father speaks to me, but I don't need his words to know that this feels right. See, the wind sort of blows around him in a bit of an eerie feeling. As it does. There's like a slight howling whistle as if a storm is brewing up. There are many forces of fury.
Emisure just here says, "To my knowledge, there are a total of 4 in the group."
So now there are 3.
He says, "Yes."
Our actions here has... I do not know the entire reaction, but Umberlee is recoiling. Unless she could find another chosen to challenge me, to overcome me, she will not gain her independence. She has been defeated by Sylvanus. And he will have to come to terms with that.
A slight pause and says, "I believe she has a presence on the Sword Coast, a kraken. I do not know whether it amounts to the same power Evander possessed. Or whether even it could, even if it were more powerful, harm you in your current state."
Perhaps before it would have been more even of a fight. But as Sylvanus' enemies weaken, so his attention can be brought to things such as me and my own capabilities. We have been fighting below our own strength. It's time that ends. Sylvanus has no problem with Lords of Fury if they simply participate in the cycle. It is them who attack. He humbly challenged him and lost. I'm curious to see if the forces of the others dare challenge me. Or if they do and lose, they lose a lot. While if they simply go back to peace, they lose nothing that they currently have.
When we first met, I was curious to see whether you, and through you, the Oak Father, could demonstrate the ferocity and need for action. I recognize that has been done. And it gladdens me, Marte.
Montaigne nods again. He sort of, I think Emissary recognizes a little bit of the same effect on him, that when she, absorbed another draconic essence, she remembers this sort of speed effect.
Yeah,
Sort of more than is, more than 100%.
yeah, she misses that.
As you can see, like the glow of the seasons changing within his eyes, sort of cycling through. I need to visit the Fae.
Yeah.
Oriel
Yeah.
stood with them. I believe she is the next weakest link. That or the Beast Lord.
I have not heard whether the Queen of Air and Darkness has permitted a chosen or chosens to be here on the prime material plane. As for Malar, there is no chosen. I was visited by an avatar of his, Hearn the Hunter. Perhaps I am the closest representative to him.
In that case, I think we know fairly well where we stand.
I do believe that Talos's chosen, the Destroyer's chosen, will continue to pursue power. Surely Talos will not be content with being subordinate, and will fight you.
He was never subordinate to us. He was under the Orc Lord. And if there is one force in this world that Sylvanus would wish to exterminate first and foremost, it is he. First, I will remove his allies. Then indeed I will travel north to fight this chosen.
You made mention your strength would wane when not in the presence of nature. Will that be true in a travel to the Feywild?
He nods. I will be weakened. It will be out of my element. But Sylvanus also claims winter. I I do not know how I will be received, but my defeat, our defeat, of Umbelly's chosen, and her capitulation, it is a wave starting, and I would want to continue it. My thoughts as to Auril is because she is an ally of convenience. She has little in common with the others, nor do I think there's a lot of... Perhaps violence might not be needed here.
I know a little of the Queen of Air and Darkness. I have had considerable experience and encounters with Winter Fae. A wormling I knew from my emergence into the world ended up serving her and caught her attention and was whisked away to her realm. I have not seen him since. I hear she is very fickle and uncommitted to just about everything.
Would you wish to accompany me?
There's a scrutinizing gaze on Martain. I do not believe you are in need of a chaperone any longer, Martain.
Are you desperately needed elsewhere?
I am not, though I have been away from the Golthandor for longer than I have ever been. Zalaznar, servant of Sylvanas, is only capable of so much, and with the strife that has swept across the continent, I would at least like a look at the region to see what has become of it in my absence.
I was not thinking of going immediately. The news of Umberlee's withdrawal will need to spread first.
Yes.
Besides, I think I have let Salasnar wait for long enough. Though, instead of Pondershaw, I think I might not grant him his wish just yet. Perhaps taking root is not the greatest use for a treant of his power.
Well, I mean, Sir Leader has nothing to say about that. That's between them. The Green Dragon says, then we will travel south and give this news time to filter through, out, and perhaps, should you so desire me, to accompany you after a time, I may choose to travel with you to the Feywild.
He will give a nod. I would be glad to have you. As he will prepare to take off. He will also look to Resecatrix. You know.
She's not there.
No?
No, she went to a very
Ah, yes. He looks after cicatrix.
Yeah, the green dragon does as well. Like, she wonders whether, like, she needs to have words with Cicatrix. She, like, thinks about it. Doesn't know how Cicatrix is doing.
Martin decides that he would rather not. Doesn't like the cicatrix. The whole
No,
murder
he
essence,
shouldn't.
god killing, it doesn't sit well with him.
Right now she likes him because he gave her useful information, but he also is like a giant battery that she's just finding out that she can gain something from destroying these batteries. You know. She doesn't think she could take him, but I mean with Emmy. But then she's like, Emmy probably wouldn't. Oh well.
He also gives a glance towards Susel Marsember. But at this point,
Right? It remains the same, like, that's civilization, and...
yeah. There is an acceptable outcome and an unacceptable outcome. But, that is not a thing for now. He has given aid. He's not gonna throw himself in the middle of that.
Yeah. Green Dragon's brain fogs over for a few minutes as she's like thrust away from like contemplating loot to like more serious things, and she like puffs out like her like breath and says, "I suppose I'm traveling down there anyway." Thinking back to how she quipped that she didn't want to haul Evander's body that far down, and she will take off from the shoreline.
You can get back to the temple.
Yeah. Traveling there to the temple is not going to be a swift trip.
Mhm.
I think, not that Emmy's early years in a great hurry anyway, with her life in general, riding on the beautiful, like, thermal winds as she does, as any long, like, distance traveling, like, creature would with wings. But, as she, like, draws closer back to the region, she starts to reflect more on just like a growing discomfort that she feels. She hasn't been away from like what she built, the Grand Temple of Malar, for like this long, ever. It's been a year and a half, and it's been very active time. And there starts to like the doubts that were filtering in as she was getting off that dragon high and returning back to her default curse of lethargy state, and then just got dismissed because she's been kicking so much ass, like begin to creep back in, and her like flight back down there is filled with a sense of like dread and discomfort that she can't explain.
Martin doesn't say much during the travel, but as you approach, he doesn't go to the temple. He goes to find Elsnar.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When she makes her way back, though, she'll be informed, probably by Nova Cree, that two guests are here, awaiting her.
Is it more poison cultists?
Green Dragon, who is out of sorts by this point, looking up at the Mesoamerican step pyramid, clad in green marble as it is, and like admiring the crenellations and the mounted ballistae, like shakes her head out of a reverie and simply queries Nova Cree, "Guess?"
From two different places. I'm trying to do a Nova Cree's voice in a long time.
Yes.
I imagine something like, they are from two different places. One far from human realm called the other from Neth. I have given them quarters as befits important guests and told them that you would be here when you deemed it appropriate.
second location, your microphone cut out. What was that?
Nathlan.
Nephilim, that's what I thought. And the leaders here says, excellent work as usual, Nova Cree. Is there anything else of which I should be informed?
Is there anything else? I don't think so. I don't think. I mean, it's not like nobody pays the most attention. So
No.
probably not.
Not like he's in the loop with the Enclave shit. It's not like I expect him to be in the loop on Enclave shit. He's here to defend and oversee this.
Probably has some sort of like thinks about it for a moment. I think he's probably clued into what happens in the Fae actually a lot more.
Yeah.
Being an Eladrin and somewhat, feels like he's really important now, so he can sort of push that.
Absolutely.
But I
mean,
don't
he is.
think. I think he thinks about it for a moment, but probably just shakes his head. Like it's not something Emissary would be interested.
Yeah, that works for me. All right. Green Dragon leaves him. Doesn't immediately go seek gas. She spends the rest of the day and night, wandering through the step pyramid that she has built. Observing the satellite structures of sandstone and granite, eyeing Nova Cree's Tower of Light, and gazing upon the marble panels that were inset into the huge entryways, made of moonstone, extolling the virtues of being a predator and telling the story of Starmantle's liberation from the far realm, glorifying the dragon and Malar, and new work that's been done by craftsmen to tell other ostentatious stories of Emissary leadership slaying an astral kraken, and the grandiose fight that would be. And instead of feeling satisfied by all of that or pleased, it's a hollowness she can't express. She goes to where she actually has her lair and keeps her hoard, and she opens up the portable hole and spends hours just pushing all of the immense wealth out, and then spending time stacking gold bars and all of the other art stuff that she's acquired, and coins I got these from the Serpent Valley from that stupid ogre with the sturges, or these gold pieces came from the dam, or this was a silver piece that Tilraxos admired and handed to me. And looking at all of her hoard for the first time fills her with a sense of emptiness. She doesn't feel like she belongs here anymore, and that's upsetting for her, because when she's put forth the effort to make this place as a statement, this she didn't think that she would ever live anywhere else. But it's not like Malar really cares about a grand temple like this that's so ornate and beautiful. And it's not like she really cares about this kind of place anymore either. And she didn't think she'd ever have that feeling before, and it's upsetting her. Thanks to herself. Maybe I need to get Nova Cree and find another dragon. And she starts to reflect now, which really hasn't been conscious, how her body has changed since she lost that energy. And how she just no longer feels like she believes she is supposed to feel. And she doesn't have a great answer for that either, because she also doesn't have a strong motivation to immediately go dragon hunting. I think the next day, full of dread and her philosophical quandaries that don't have any answers, she'll go visit the emissary from Nathland first.
All right. They've been given good quarters. They're ostensibly they're not an ally. They're just sort of on friendly terms.
On friendly terms, yes.
It is Shu Cheng, a lot older.
Yeah, it's been decades.
Oh yeah, a lot older than before. token doesn't represent it, but you can imagine, right?
Yeah.
Has been here. Is dressed in the a new look. A lot of like jade adorned armor shaped like dragon scales. They've really committed to this jade dragon look. The Dragon Guard. That they've ruled the city now for a good long while.
They really have, yeah.
And she's been probably told that the emissary is there, so you're probably meeting in some neutral, like not like in the room she's been sleeping in, right? But
No, not the room she's been sleeping in.
yeah. And she will, as she sees emissary, she will bow down all the way. Sort of really kowtow, right?
User leader accepts, soaks in like the genuflection before the dragon. Then after several seconds says, "You may rise, Shu Cheng. What brings you to me?"
Will rise. Doing another small bow as she does. Emissary Lidrithir, once ruler of Nathalik. I have come on behalf of the Jade Hall for a request. We do not know if you would be willing to grant it, but it is a gift the price of which we could never repay. Word has spread over time of your, and she sort of pauses a little bit, your seneschal, Novakri, and his ascendance to a draconic form. I would seek the same for the Grand Administrator. Long has our city looked for the wisdom of the long-living and of the draconic, the greater minds than our own. And yet, we have failed to find one that was as wise as you proved to be in regards to our survival. It is the hope of the Grand Administrator that should she acquire such power as your seneschal has, she would be capable of better ruling our city, and of ruling it for a much longer time than she has otherwise been given. Word has also reached us, but normally we would not ask you of such a thing, only hope that you would ever offer it. But word has come of the Cat Lord in the south. The minions of Nobanian are moving once more, and their power is real. They believe the Jade Dragon stood against them at a time of crisis, while all we did was prevent the shadow from taking over. We do not wish to allow our city to once more be taken from us and to be ruled by riddle makers. Yet, against a god, we have no power to resist. We hope that this elevation will grant us the wisdom and skills to find a way to even the odds of the coming theological conflict.
Shu Cheng, a draconic transformation of your Grand Administrator would still not grant her the power to resist a god or any direct agent, a chosen, of said god. You must know this to be true. Dragons are mighty, yes, but there is a divinity which would not be transferred, were I to grant this boon.
Of course, we do not expect this to solve our problem, as you are not a solver of problems. We merely wish to be given the tools to better contemplate how we might solve our own problem. With the transformation would come wisdom, and more than that, less tangible, perhaps, it would bring legitimacy. We are a city that praises the rule of the dragon, but has no rule of a dragon. This is one way in which our throne could be filled by someone truly worthy of it. One that could not be so easily dismissed as a usurper. She again bows, very respectfully,
Yes. It is with interest I departed from Nathlak City, your home, after freeing it from Shar, to see whether it would flourish or collapse. I note it remains intact despite numerous struggles within and without. Is it that your faction, after this time, desires the rule of a dragon?
Well, the rule of the dragon is how we are meant to live. People do not know what is best for themselves, and we have only texts that are old, by which we rule our people. We have traded with dragons, Anglispark, Termish, but the trade has begun to dwindle, given their own failure to obey their draconic master. Yet, the trade dragon has found no dragon worthy of our task. Certainly, a dragon would wish to be worshipped and praised. But if there is no ruling, there is no command. If there is no interpretation of how life should be lived, then we are none the wiser. The texts are for our benefit. We learn from our draconic patron, gain an insight in the long term that we would otherwise not have. A dragon who does not see the long term has yet to grow up. There are few enough dragons around.
Yeah, the Green Dragon finds this incredibly just amusing to be explained to this in such a way.
He's, perhaps being more respectful than I am, even, but
Yes, I get you. Green Dragon says, "It is perhaps the curse of your people that other dragons, near and far, know of my power and presence, and the dealings I have had with Anglispark, the Dragon King of Termish, as well as that of the Dragon Fane, the northern reaches of the Giant's Front Mountains. Any dragon who might style themselves your leader would not come to Naflek City, for to do so would be to enter into my reach. My reputations are many.
And that is why I came to you for this book. O great and wise dragon.
Tell me, do you believe, you know, that the minions of Nobanyan will fall upon Naflek City? Immediately? Are they... I have not heard that they have amassed, say, near the flooded forest, near Assam, or what used to be it.
They are not here yet. Yet there are those in our city who still venerate the old ways, and their rituals, now ceremonial, have given them answers. They are speaking of a return to how things used to be, how to their mind things should be. The past is easy to sell, as all the ills of it are forgotten, and all the goods embellished. Our way is not a way that makes everyone happy. In the short term, many of our rulings are unpleasant. Yet in the long term, our city has prospered greater than it ever has. It might not come to violence, unless we resist their people taking over the city once more. They are not yet strong enough to resist our edicts, but in time they well might be, especially with the movement in the south. Wemix beginning to move across the shining plains. I have come to you in good time, for we ever think ahead.
Yes, I witness the virtues you strive to uphold. You may return to your Grand Administrator with this message, that I will arrive at midwinter, the 31st day of the calendar of Harptos, after Hammer passes, with my answer to your humble request.
Give a deep bow and say, we shall arrange festivities, celebrate your visit.
If there is nothing further, then you may depart with my blessing.
With her retinue, same day. Give this information. He has been waiting here for a little bit, right? She wants to get back with the juice. And so they can prepare.
It's very hard to dislike them.
Yeah.
But yes, dragons are the greatest beings. I'm like, I mean,
Like the departure also fills the Green Dragon with even more questions. She thinks of Valignus' desire to not share more about the draconic transformation stuff, but she thinks about Valignus' desire to want dragons to be revered and seen as the gods they are.
Right? That's what
really
these people are doing.
She thinks about all of the positive experiences she's had with Naflek. Then she thinks about the encroaching of Nobanyan, whose revival is, she sees it as her fault. Nobanyan's return is because of her.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's not really.
It's not
I
a.
don't know. I mean, you're being hard on yourself. No,
You know,
no, yeah,
it's like
that's
it's that thing where she's like, I sort of did that, and
Yeah.
then looks around as Noki's like, there's no.
Yeah, like
We all know.
I could have just ate the pendant of hope. Like I could have killed him. I could have put him back on the altar to Malar. Like,
A lot of things that could have been done.
Yeah.
But now that'll be
True.
much harder, because,
yeah,
apparently he also does not travel alone, but with a
I mean he shouldn't.
fully empowered chosen.
Yeah, well, if I fucking unhinge Martine, maybe I'll travel with a fully empowered chosen. Oh shit. Well,
The
with her mind
serpent's
swirling
jaw,
with
I can
questions.
swallow the lion god.
Yeah. Oh shit. Right. With her mind swirling with questions, I think she spends like an hour like enjoying like Nathlet cuisine, which has been like an adopted sort of thing, like stuff that she likes to eat when she's here. And then after an hour, she goes to find the visitor from So she may have a suspicion of who that is.
Oh yes,
There's an
it'll probably
odor. There's an
confirm
odor in the air.
as enters the small chamber where the old grandmother, who just is old and has been old for an unreasonably long time.
Yeah.
Wilhelmina here she looks like she's gonna die in a couple years. Oh, how sad! And yet she has
Really,
for a very long time.
after she touched like Cindermoon's black pool, like that's what you'd think it, but no, she kicks.
She always seems like she's about to keel over, though. She probably's got something real nasty.
Yeah.
Hope it's not contagious, right?
Yeah. When Imuzure Legers there and like the Archpriestess Olona like see each other, like Imuzure Legers like immediately opens up with, "I am puzzled to see you once more, Archpriest of Talona. Perhaps a compliment to your constitution."
Oh, well, Lona gives many gifts to those who are willing to share them. Almost leaning over the table as she says it.
Yes. Is this a visit on your behalf? Or do you come on behalf of the Lady of Poison?
I am here with divine words, perhaps not quite some might expect one of the chosen, but Alona seeks to grant her divinity to the world in a different manner. I come from quite a travel to get here, but my work there is reaching its conclusion. Perhaps you've heard of it.
She says, "Yes, I have. Word of Am's collapse has spread, even to this region. I had not known it was your handiwork.
Oh,
If the stories are true, it is most impressive."
Amn was the refuge of a few nascent chosen, those of gods seeking to claw their way back to life. The Lady of Poison wished them to stay where they were. No need to embellish our pantheon too much. And on that note, I've come with a proposition for you. You are Queen of Poison. There is no reason we should not be allies, or even more. Surely others have come to seek out your aid, seek out your patronage, or to offer theirs. Suppose I could join their throng, but you have done something grand for the Lady of Poison. A task that is not yet done.
Green Dragon keeps a stoic face. Doesn't say anything.
You have here, within this place, a bottle. Within it is a small part of Talona's own divinity, enough that it can be allowed to touch. A sliver of it escaped, but most is still contained. The time comes near when such a thing will be used or it will expire. And it would be a shame to see something so marvelous, a creation of such beauty, not shown to the world. I've come to request a use for it, or perhaps to suggest one, or perhaps simply to take it off your hands. If you find no correct.
I do believe what I received from Talona was in return for my diligence and sacrifices I made to her. And I would be loath to give that to anyone who did not follow the path I did in what I chose.
Not false. False. And yet, have you no greater purpose for it? Whither, shelf? I might suggest a place that currently has many members of the Divine. Harvest ready to be reaped. Should the bottle find itself into the water of Zeus El Marsemba, well, there might even be an advancement of the Lady of Poisons to a greater state than she currently is in.
You may have heard of what I possess, but you seem to be lacking in its purpose, to be used against aberrant creatures. The black obelisk, which departed from my shore and now resides outside Neverwinter, is because of the fear sparked within them over what I possessed, over what Talona granted me.
Gives
Not
a smile.
to be used in Cormyr.
Yet one purpose becomes another. But think of the you have it. Certainly could not take it from you. You never tried, but the boon Talona might grant you for such a take so much from so many. Give it to her.
Talona granted me a boon with the weapon I've used to strike terror into the Aboleths and their sleeping god. And I seem to recall the offhand comments you provided in whether Shar and the darkness she would bring, whether that would really be so bad for the world.
She gives a very sweet smile, though her blackened teeth don't make it very nice to look. Oh, but this would hurt the Shadow Var just as well, I'm sure. Who is to
You have not convinced me. You do not distract me. I do not slay you now. For in recognition of the work you have done in this world, and my understanding that I do see it as part of nature. But you will not compel me to squander what Talona granted me. you will not receive it from me. And if you waste your breath further in attempting to convince me to do anything with it other than what I decide, you will not survive the encounter.
Her smile withers.
I have slain an astral kraken. I have defeated Evander Highcastle, the chosen of Umberley. You possess no power which could compel me forward.
She's disappointed. Such things she imagined she could do. As you wish.
Yeah,
All right.
I hate it when people don't
I
let me use their stuff.
Cannot compel. If my words do not convince you, then I have nothing more to offer. I had hoped to stay a while, but I'll be off. Waterdeep. There are places that still need to know. Fear. Pain. That is what you inflict upon me. Believe.
It's good, because if you'd given her like another like 12 words, she would be dead.
Right? I'm like, yes, I'm also angry when I try to get the things that other people paid for. I'm like, hey, that's a cool car. Could I get it? No, fuck
the
you.
pain the pain that your words have inflicted upon me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
oh.
got you right.
All right, yeah. I meant
Right.
to do that.
Like,
Okay, well.
just like, with that departure at the end of that meeting, Green Dragon just shakes her head like, stupid humanoid creature. Like, go make your own sacrifices. Go find like treasure troves from Ilmater and offer them to Talona.
Isn't that much of that around, you know? Yeah. Wouldn't that for a spanner in the works?
You know,
chosen who so much ever gets sick and die.
You know, that would be horrifying.
The greater deity of nature.
So that like, I didn't bother like rolling like an insight there because flatly Envy's early leader wouldn't trust the Archpriest of Talona, but like after like the departure, like Envy's early leader starts to he has like a bit of concern developed now over like looking back at like the glass vial in her hoard, like how many more people are going to come after this? Like what if I'm away and someone gets through everything to like come here with this? Or what if it does have an expiration date? She pauses like, it wouldn't have an expiration date. What I did was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But what if it does have an expiration date? That doesn't count.
What if adventurers at some point need to deal with a really scary thing?
Oh no.
What in the realms could be used to kill something that just can't die?
It's like no one would be stupid enough to come after, but and then she thinks of like the year and a half that she spent away from her lair, like in Suzail Marsember. Looking around, like the defenses, they're amazing, but and like adventurers with them are completely distracted in Cormyr. What if like devils or some shit, like a fucking like imp somehow like snuck in and
Speaking of the devil, Versicatrix comes home also to some messages.
Wow. Oh, okay. I was
No,
gonna say, I'm not the
we're not there
devil.
yet.
Oh.
One is an urgent message through the Black Network from Sethiston.
Oh.
If it was a text, it would have a lot of exclamation marks.
Okay.
All
right.
And basically it says it's probably like a person, right? Wording. Featherston has word from the Cloakwood. He's had to retreat further north, moving his forces. Devils. There's devils everywhere.
At Baldur's Gate?
South of it, the woods, all the way to the Cloud Peaks. Hundreds of them. Several pit fiends, maybe 3 legions. Full legions.
Do we know why?
I don't. They seem to want something within Candlekeep. Hill has been awfully quiet, but this is an amount of force that is great enough to even weaken them at their home front. Whatever it is, they desire it more than... He doesn't. He has no idea what they would desire more. There's so many. He might have, maybe he's going to convert to Asmodeus now, given the power he's been shown.
That might be better than Cyric, honestly. Alright. Could the Cicatrix, do either an Arcana or, alright, what kind of fucking, an item that powerful must be something very rare.
Like, what's in Candlekeep?
Well, more what's in Candlekeep, or oh hey, the encyclopedia
what is Candlekeep?
Incredibly
give me
fucking
an Arcana or history check. Either is appropriate.
Right.
Or religion, for that matter, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Arcana, because I actually have that trained.
Alright, well, common knowledge about Candlekeep. It's the most holy site of Okma, the god of knowledge. As such, it has an almost intact library. Full stop. Means it has almost every book, or scroll, or thing, unaltered. In the greatest collection of arcane tomes available. Beyond that, it and probably why so many devils would be needed to do anything, is that it is also guarded by every one of the great realm sort of archmages. The secretary might be like, oh, that would be great to go in and just loot that secret library, or not really secret, more like fortress library. The problem is that she would dismiss it, even at her current level. No,
I'm fucking not.
No one. There's no point even going to attack. Yeah, it is. So the really answer is what isn't within, because the secretary just doesn't know where the limits are to what could be found there.
Eri thinks that they're looking for the Book of Vile Darkness or something. Oh, this is the book of all bad things in the world. Yeah, fucking that would be it. But the Cicatrix would not know. She just knows that she doesn't like devils. Would this person be aware whether, how far are they from Candlekeep? Basically.
The devils?
Yes.
When he left, they were pretty damn close.
Okay, yeah, so it's not like a situation where it's oh, hey, a warning. No, they're
going.
The enemy will know that they're there.
You have had news before that something weird is happening in Hell.
Yeah,
they've been awfully quiet, really. Sort of.
I don't know. They seem to fucking show up every time I'm doing something.
Last couple of years. But now it seems that they have found a purpose that they're willing to sort of break the rules to do. I mean, they're not really supposed to. Asmodeus is a god and has to sort of, no one's sending thousands of angels to go anywhere. When devils break the rules, something is.
Yeah, I want to know.
It's certainly a big deal. Amn has no answer because they're all dying of plague, and Baldur's Gate is being incredibly quiet because they have no interest in messing with any of that.
No, they just got fucked up. They're
Oh,
not
yeah,
gonna.
they're not into that. Yeah. All right. Beyond that, where does the Secretary lair these days? Having returned to Westgate.
I mean, I think she's still like by the old tomb, you know.
All right, that's underground. Fair
Yep.
enough.
I mean, she has like her like meeting quarters, you know. People don't go in the old tomb to meet her.
Yeah, they don't.
I mean, no, random people don't. Like, that's a secret place.
There is.
I feel like I'm gonna get visitors in my secret place.
You are not wrong. I'd use the map, but maybe it won't escalate to that at the moment. Well, we'll have to begin.
This is Lady of Murder we're talking about.
Yeah, we'll see, right?
I was gonna say,
You,
when there's talk earlier of like, oh, we could just talk with the Fae. I was like, talk with the Fae?
Visegatrix hears the sound of the dragon statue, the one that only she really knew how to fix,
Yes, the Topaz Dragon.
gliding out of place. Someone else
What?
has done it and is coming in.
I don't like it. Okay. Teeth out, everything. Ready to murder.
But what room do you want to stand in? The back room or one of the other?
Oh, are we?
You
Do I
want to go
need
to meet them, or
There we go.
are you gonna wait?
No, she's meeting them. What are you talking about?
Right. So basically, you rush forward, right? You probably repaired
Yeah.
the doors. I figure that's
Prepared the doors. There's definitely like just
rearmed the
a
traps.
bunch of like anti-scrying,
Mhm.
you know, warning bells, like door of fucking like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
it's just like
Well,
imagine the most
they're
paranoid
all
person. And then,
they're all beginning to blare, right?
yeah. Okay.
Though
Well,
not before
there are
now.
guards coming.
Nothing from further up has been averted.
Right.
Um,
Which,
And
okay.
as she arrives, someone has just pushed a thing to make the big statue move and close the door above them again. I do want
Right.
darker.
I was gonna say, I'll copy my token.
Yes, let's move to the actual. You're right. It just feels better, to be in the.
Well, I don't know. There's a map. I mean, there's a map that you put here in the ancient tomb, right? Oh, that's not that one.
No,
Is
it's
it?
in Westgate.
Oh, Westgate.
Yeah, the ancient tomb is
I was gonna
not.
say that's the other one. That's the other
That's
tomb.
not where you're meeting. That's a whole
Yeah.
different implications. Yo, I have made it. Should make.
There you go. Yeah, it's
Westgate and then to the south, right?
yeah, it's
Shoot
pretty
out
far
around
south.
Sham. The big map, Westgate.
Um,
I can just check.
Westgate. It don't. Oh, did you? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you remember the map, right? Further in here is
Yeah.
like your actual lair. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's
this above here is the big fake dragon.
Yes.
There's an old Vercicatrix hiding on this map, along with an old me.
Ew.
Yeah.
Kill
where
your
are
old
you?
selves.
You are on the roof up there.
Yeah, I see. Since we're not like going into raid their rating usually. Like, I don't imagine her room is like the tomb itself, but more so she has built like
Expand it a little bit, sure.
adjacent. Well, it's because she is a paranoid dragon and she can't not be close to the portal. So
Well, there's like a little middle room there in between, and then probably did like a little side path there.
yeah. Well, yes. I mean, she's also a black dragon, so there's like a bunch of interests too.
Turning around is a figure clad in a large, sort of opulent, black leather robe. Very, very mysterious. Most of the face covered in sort of a purple. Could you give me a history check,
Yes.
Keelan?
Yes.
This is the elder
7
child
again.
of Keithson Rathazar.
All right. 24.
Hmm.
All right, yeah.
It's a humanoid, it seems.
It is a humanoid. Though more is, I'd say, very pale. Turns look. You recognize them from some, portraits and whatnot you have probably found in this very city. It appears to be someone you've seen painted as Manchun. Apparently the founder of the Centauri.
Oh,
And
wow.
a well-known chosen of Mistra.
You know what? I'll take him over
Which,
fucking Elminster in my
goes
home.
back quite a while.
Right?
But almost 300 years of age at this point. Would be.
Well, that's nothing for dragons. So.
Which is weird because
It could be an elf.
turns. Yeah, I mean, with a history check, you don't know the details, basically.
Yeah.
I
think there's other things to worry about right now than fucking. Oh, what race is he?
Turns to Versicatrix. Versicatrix. Good. You're home. Moves towards the dragon. He doesn't seem to be armed.
He's a fucking chosen of Mistra.
He has like an old walking staff, that he clearly doesn't
How do you
need.
know of me, and why are you here?
I know of many things that go on, but I need your help.
What with?
A mistake I made. He glances up and says, if your people are on the way, you can probably tell them not to. They would not be much help anyway.
Yeah, still cast ascending. Shouldn't be a problem. Well, actually, she might not be able to down here. I don't know if she can exclude herself from.
Being this close to him, you know what vampires feel like. This guy's definitely a vampire.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I was gonna say, I hang out with the vampire most of the day, or night, really.
I have been keeping an eye on things, the shadows.
Yes, we all do.
And it's a long story, but I have an offer for you. You help me with a small, general, standing issue. In return, I will work with you to bring the Black Network, a bit of emphasis, to new heights. I want back in. You are the current leader of the Westgate chapter, and figured maybe you'd need like an intern or some such. What do you say? We can do a lot together, you and
I do an insight check.
I mean, I made it down here. I found this place. Yeah, do an insight check.
This guy doesn't seem like a Centaur person. I don't like it.
I mean, like, something that maybe you can feel, maybe you can't as well, is like, maybe this actually isn't Manchun. Which could be part of what you're inciting here.
Well, I have an incredible insight, really. Oh my god. I cannot
Prove
roll
to
over
me
10.
you're a chosen.
You believe that this is, in fact, the Man Show. There's no illusions here. He's not lying. He does seem a bit jumpy. You know. But certainly not the sort of, if someone is that old and stuff, they were usually bit grandiose and talk about how important they are all the time. Does none of that. Pretty much gets straight to the surface. It was straight to the issue. He says, I would schedule a meeting, but I just figured it really shows more that we're down here. A very nice place you have here. So maybe it could use an additional guard. I could be that guard. Was chosen of Mistra, Archmage, unparalleled power. I have regained some of that. The whole collapse and death and so forth, but in time, a trifle to get the rest of it.
So what is it you want?
I want back in. I want to stay here to guard this tomb. To aid you in making the Black Network greater organization, to reclaim some of the lost glory it had before the Bay Knights assassinated me the first time and took over, ruined the whole thing.
You would like to remake this Centaurium, I take it.
We'll keep the new name. Centaurium has been tainted at this point. But as an organization, not of Bane or Cyric, but of magic, of intelligence. Getting things done that we need done. And I want to help you doing it. He seems a bit relieved for some reason at Mr. Trix's reaction.
I don't trust you.
Oh. Have we met before?
I don't trust anyone in our business.
That's wise. No, but we haven't, then. Good. That's very good.
That doesn't make me trust you more.
I mentioned that I got assassinated. Right? Got killed by my second in command at the hand of Bane many, many years ago. Turns out, being an Archmage as I was, I set up certain contingencies in case I would die. Safe to say that a few more of them worked than I had anticipated. My work was exemplary, as it turns out. But, well, this place really seems very secure. It'd be hard for me, to find any information about what really is down here.
Clearly not. You made it down here.
Oh, yes. And I'd be curious what is behind the next door.
Yes, you would.
That's the point. I wouldn't expect me to be behind it. See, I had a lot of contingency. Should I die, there were a lot of things that were going to happen. Turns out that, I know at least 14 others that happened, which means that out there are a whole bunch of fake me's. Some in worse condition than others, but safe to say I am more alive, even in my current state, than I have ever been. The problem is, some of those think that they are the real me, and they seem to be murderously intent on proving it.
And how do they do that?
With murder. Arcane power, unparalleled knowledge and skill at the arts. I, of course, is a match for any of them, being the original, but
I think Jessica Chicks rolls her eyes at Liz. Like, how the fuck would you know?
but they team up against me. And I'm looking for an ally, say a partner, with whom to recreate the past glory and to have some peace from the constant attacks of rivals. Beyond that, in the spirit of honesty, I have also had almost fatal encounters with the Sage of Shadowdale. He seems somewhat insistent that we should not return to the world of the living. Or the undead.
Oh no, that's Elminster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She would not know that, I don't think.
No, I'm you
You're
know,
right.
just like people who like have heard about us, even like in regions beyond our
You
own.
definitely would.
Oh, okay.
I mean, to the point where you can say he's an archmage, right? He does
Yeah.
weird archmage stuff.
Also like Mistra.
Yes. Well, Mistra had a lot of choice.
Recently
Yeah.
in the
Skip
region.
around.
Yes, well, I figured if I had a hard time finding out what's down here, then maybe this is a good place to, stick around for a little while. Need extra security. Which you might, given that I probably am not the only me who had this idea. After all, this was one of the great cities, the Centauran.
And what is to stop you from becoming a security problem for me?
Why would I do that? Seems that I would have no benefit to quarrel with you. Your power is somewhat similar to my own. At least in my current state. I believe should I vanquish the others that I would gain more of my overall capability, but for the moment I will aid in administrative duties mostly. I protect your horde, and if you have any rituals you need some assistance with or arcane research, I am quite skilled in all of those. What do you say? That reaches out a hand.
You know,
I've been betrayed before, but you seem more trustworthy somehow than my old compatriots.
area to interject like a metagame perspective. How driven is Airy to like decipher the riddles of the ritual?
Right? How because this like seems like a stupid risk to take.
I have no like compulsion I would offer you there, because it's really it is like two like competing things. It ends with your character. One is the any means necessary to crack like the code of what Yaffle created and Garrett
right.
like made, and like someone like even like I mentioned this in the Twitch chat. I'm just tickled. I did not expect Manchun to appear in our game. I'm just fucking amused by it. Yeah. like a clone of like the infamous Manchun, like helping in any capacity, because you haven't asked for or gotten help from anyone, and certainly anyone to decipher ritual stuff that you haven't even like pursued this year would be great. On the other hand, someone who sees themselves as roughly equal to you in power, who has intentions you can't even begin to fathom, who seems to be hunted by perhaps other clones of Manchun, and maybe Elminster too?
Yeah. Yeah,
So yeah, that like it goes like on the one hand paranoia, on the other hand Yaffle at any cost. And so, just like that's what it seems like to me. We're just like two like competing like interests of.
Somehow, when a great liar is telling the truth, it makes you more nervous, doesn't it?
No, but how would you ever know if she's telling the truth?
It, I believe that's how people feel when dealing with the Green Dragon, my characters.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So I shook their. They're not following me at the moment. I cut to the city, it seems, before any of the others, which is good. It's been a while. I think others have been here before me. I found a safe house already equipped, but I would take it that the Sage of Shadowdale took it. They would not come looking for me here with all the things happening in Cormyr. Down here, I might be out of their reach until this all blows over.
Yet if you are not, instead of guarding my hoard, you will bring Elminster and clones of yourself of likely as much power to my realm. Whereas if you were not here, they would not come.
Well, I did. I assume others might come similarly, trying to offer you something.
And they could be sent away
might not
as
be
well.
as reasonable. I do hear that at least one of me has converted to Fellowship of Cyric. Pathetic. I believe we share any part of.
Are they all vampires?
No. Not all of them had such a brilliant idea. It has extended my life and given me capabilities that they could only dream of. Besides,
I
I would
don't
have
know
a
what to
much
do.
more difficult time coming down here if they aren't.
Could you make the defenses here? Could you bolster them?
I don't know what's further in, but the ones above, most certainly. I have gotten very good at somewhat specialized in the manipulation of things that have blood in them. It just seemed like a convenient place to start regaining my past knowledge. Moving it from one place to another can be quite unpleasant, I understand. And with myself as a guard, I certainly strike down any such threat. Try to come. Offer to allow you to mark my face as you have your other minions, but I'm afraid my current situation would simply heal it. Any vampire. So that's, unfortunate.
The mark is for the initiated and proven loyal. Even if you could, you would have not yet earned that right.
Well, where you're going, the path you walk, you could use a hand with it, or someone who might know a thing or two. Help one way or the other.
You are right. Perhaps I will take you with me where I go. It will be a good test of your capability as well as to see if you indeed are loyal or not. And if it turns out you are not, well, as you told me, there are many people who would like to greet you.
Very well.
That would be a shame, of course.
I understand the need to prove loyalty to some degree, though. I don't expect trust. I expect to be useful enough that will be necessary.
That is better.
You're not
More attainable, perhaps.
realistic.
So, what you wish from me is merely security to help you when these clones come and attempt to strike at you.
For now, perhaps in time, should we find any of them, could you imagine? Imagine maybe 30 of you being around, except every single one of them has flaws everywhere. I mean, they were, one plan was supposed to go off. This one, returning me to life. The others were unfortunate side effects of unfinished projects.
The cicatrix in her mind is like, I wonder if this one isn't flawed also. I wonder if they're all a little wonky.
So it is somewhat embarrassing to have my good name dragged through the streets in such a fashion. Still, I have no doubt if I simply lay low, then most already have disappeared. Intervening period.
You have regained some of your power of Mistra. Like, does she get
considers for a
like
moment.
the?
No, he doesn't count.
Okay. Would he, if he was, has he murdered all his clones?
That's hard
It
to
might
say.
not. It might not work the same way as Bane specific thing
Yeah.
does. That was Bane's contingency plan.
Sadly, it seems the Lady of Spells is dead. Gone from the world. Betrayed as I was. Seriously.
The cicatrix, in her mind, she's like, oh yeah, I guess he wouldn't like Sirik.
No.
Being an arch. That's the thing, right?
He got
She's
killed
like,
by him. His
she
magic got taken away, so he had to relearn all of it. It's real
Right.
bother.
She doesn't quite like, she's like, okay, something's not on the up and up. At the same time, she's like, maybe his less like snobbiness might be due to that he has, had to drag himself up from being incredibly powerful, chosen of Mistra, unto a guy with some armor and a knife. Which,
Imagine
is
that
not
PC
great.
backstory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right? That sucks when your god dies.
Yeah.
And magic is ruined. Alright, well, for now this is agreeable. Though, as we made your clones, I hope you are the most useful one.
He nods. Says, oh, I am not worried about that. Single one of them has been an embarrassment.
Would they not say the same about you?
Doesn't matter what they say. They're simply weak imitations.
Menakai.
Yes.
Would the cicatrix, even though, like you say, he might get more powerful as they are destroyed? Is that would the cicatrix gain power from destroying these clones as well?
I can't check. I'll tell you. You might know about clone.
Well, let's see that. Hey!
All right. clone spell. Spell that doesn't really exist now. Past age thing. Current wild magic weave doesn't really allow for it to be done as the same way. But the Secretrix believes that there is no way to know if any of these are the original. Or probably, most likely, there isn't one. And yet,
Yeah.
all of them would most likely feel intricately or like desperately that they are the real one. Because they're equally real. What you do with a clone spell is generally you make a number of bodies, usually just the one, to not, have more than one be around. And then you take your soul, and once you die, you're just reinserted into the body. Now, what seems to have been happened here, from context, right?
Right.
Is that Manchur might have prepared a few more than one body, and when he died, the soul might have just been split up and put in each one of them.
Oh.
Which means that they all have somewhat of a broken soul, but all the memories and knowledge of a shared life and existence. It's clearly been a while. It's a long while for them to get powerful again, and the various paths they've taken to improve themselves have clearly made them somewhat different.
Right.
But should they manage to kill all the other ones, I mean, their soul will begin lapping itself together, right? Now, would the
Right.
Secretrix get power from that? Not from, like, taking it from them, as a chosen one. But
No, but just in terms of like killing
she's a
powerful
murder
things.
dragon. Her
Yeah.
magic, whenever she murders things, she gets more powerful. And these are certainly, they're interesting, powerful people. And, if she kills them, yes, of course her soul will be pleased. Her spirit will be empowered. She is, or at least trying to become, the very definition of what it means to kill something.
Mm-hmm. Let's do another insight check and to like deem whether like his distaste for it, like basically what she is afraid of is like, okay, say that me and this guy, are fighting one of his clones. What if he just sides with the clone? Like,
I
is
could
his
tell you that
like
with the
this?
Arcana check. He will not. The
Okay,
seeing your soul in another being like that is, I mean, basically an abhorrent crime of nature that should never happen. It's like an
I
aberration
mean,
in a
you
way.
know what? Musicatrix
And
actually knows that feeling. You know?
the soul will seek to mend itself. That the
Yes,
world is like, you should fix that. And so when
she also
them working
knows that.
together is they would all know that they're just waiting for an excuse to backstab each other.
Right. Even that's sort of like the ball soul.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah.
Also,
Except
I
not
cannot
divine.
remember, but I think that we established already that the Death King would have not gotten any murder power.
No, it seems like you don't know where he is, so that's incorrect.
Okay. No, yeah. I just,
Nope, doesn't seem like he takes your actual essence.
yeah. No, he takes the other. Okay. Um. Yeah. I mean, the Secretrix will accept this person. I think she would say, "Do you mind perhaps disguising yourself?" It's like, is this not like his classic getup,
It is,
basically?
yeah.
Yeah,
Sort of,
yeah.
he stands there looking at Rosicatrix a bit. He moves his hands to his clothes. It seems somewhat strange that the original would wear something inappropriate while the fakes would truly imitate the look.
Ugh. Hmm.
But most would search for me magically. I mean, you didn't find me, your people didn't find me before I wanted you to find me.
Yes, I did not like that. Perhaps next time you would knock. Yes, it proved your power, but it also
Low-level
leaves
spells.
me distrusting you more. waiting. And if you are not useful, I will strike. You know this.
He nods. Yes.
If you are even slightly more risky than useful,
Well, then let's talk about what you need.
yes. First, again, we will reinforce this place. I will be with you. I have arcane knowledge myself, and I would like to learn and make sure that I myself, too, can deal with whatever new security you set up. I also have some research that perhaps with time I could involve you in. It is of a runic nature, something that I am myself still learning, but I would take it that you would know.
He nods. No, his magical power is grand, but it is not as grand as his magical knowledge because that didn't
Yeah, I
get erased.
figured. Right.
Yeah,
Well,
we
it's
can, we
like,
can probably paraphrase the rest. It seems like you just want to.
yeah,
Yeah, I get what you're looking at, right? I can tell you, sort of out of game, it doesn't look like he's here with the intention to betray you.
yeah, yeah.
He does seem to want the Centauran to be big and strong. He does seem to want to be a part of it. And he is fine with the Cicatrix, like, asking him to do things. Especially if it means he gets to be down here for a while. He doesn't really want to go outside too much. But, it's a dangerous time to live in, and he feels
It's
like if he
dangerous
just,
to live in. Also, he's
if
a
he survives
vampire.
like 20 more years, if he lives 20 more years, he feels like the world's going to be a lot better for him than it
Yeah,
is right now.
perhaps Mister will be back. You know.
Who knows what might happen? Who knows what might
Yeah. You know, Mr. Gish don't mind. She'll definitely keep an eye on him and have her people keep an eye on him. You know, perhaps you go introduce him to Gethra and Giselle. You know, the team.
So, wow. A second vampire, huh? No. It's all good. Yetzer doesn't care, and
I was gonna say, Giselle
Giselle
herself
knows
has a faction
something.
of vampires.
yeah, Giselle knows something about who this guy is and appreciates the vampiric. Mystic Burr has no
Okay,
idea either.
does she have some gossip for me that I didn't already find out?
No.
Yeah.
She doesn't know more than you in that regard. She's not really from here either, even when she was originally. She
Right,
was
yeah, she was brought up in it.
she was sort of converted to vampiric just because she was useful. So then actually a command. That's why she lived, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, she is a
Look at
commander
her
of-
now.
Yeah, that's right.
Risen such heights.
Yeah,
All
all
right.
right. I'll have my new Archmage.
Into that Archmage of Westgate. The Manchun. Good.
Yes.
Um,
I'm sure he's familiar with anti-scrying rituals too.
oh yeah.
Okay,
He's
good.
gotten very good at dealing with the shadow war of being hunted by himself, which really forces you to branch out your skills because you know what you could do to find yourself. It's like playing chess with
Yeah.
yourself, except you die if you fail.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's survived so far,
Yeah,
so
exactly. Really, he's one of the good ones, right? Yeah. In other news, that's happening. So that as we we'll begin to progress a little bit. Maybe I should ask first.
Yeah.
Is there something you guys want to do?
well, I mean, I'll do my lore checks.
Yes, the lore checks of the ancient tomb. It's been a little while, hasn't it?
It has been. You know, it's been a busy couple of years. The ancient tomb. I only see the brown crashed entrance.
Move north, because there's a whole dungeon there.
Oh, well,
between there and here, you know,
sucks to suck. Hey, yo!
that you skipped.
Yeah, I did. That is true. I'm
Some
going to
dragons
delete this
grew up in
chunk of
that
this
place. It's very nice.
as well. Yeah, I hear there's a lot of nice imps.
All right, you remember the rules of how to do this, right? You get a skill roll for each of
Yeah.
these things. You earn research, and you can spend that research. Accomplish
Yes,
things.
research.
Find
Where
information.
was the... Oh, there it is. Alright.
Click the green thing. That button. Tell you everything you
Yes.
need to know. Don't do that.
Sorry?
No, I'm just doing it for the stream as well. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. Put my literal thinking cap on.
there's 0 research at the moment.
Okay, and then skills. Alright. Is there a way for me to use this guy without like letting him in the fucking chamber? Basically, like,
Well, as Manikai described it, like what you don't spend all of your time there. You
right.
like take notes and write stuff down to like go research or what have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely should be. I mean, he can certainly assist, right? Probably with any of these for an extra +2
Alright, cool.
skill rolls, as he is. You know, this is not his specialty, Imaskari magic by any sort of thing, and certainly not like Thayan or one of the other things that I hear. But he is an art mage of considerable power and skill. So definitely can assist, even if you don't like, if he doesn't spend his whole time doing it.
Well, Ares doing that to you, the dear viewer. I suspected my character would end up here at some point, helping with this research stuff, and yet somehow it ends up not happening.
You know, it's like, oh wait, that's a thing. That's true. It's like, is it like earlier Amy Sher was like,
Really?
maybe I should
Like,
talk with Musicatrix, but it's like they just are so busy with their own things, like it hasn't even dawned on Musicatrix.
Yes, yeah. The Black Dragon's like, oh yeah. By the way, I made like a portal to like the ritual, and I'm in the process of exploring and trying to edit the damn thing. Just hasn't come up.
Yeah, I mean, you could certainly, you know, maybe before you begin to get to the nature stuff, maybe, I don't know, religion. I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean,
Because you're doing it along the year, so certainly there's lots of time to think about it. Not like
right?
you're
Yeah,
jumping it now, right?
yeah.
All right, so you get 30 on Arcana. That's a big success. The research.
I don't know,
Yes.
Ari. Why change the trend at this point? Right? Just let it be a surprise for my character. Like, oh, shit.
I feel like even if she like gets the thought, she'll like definitely want to involve Emmy, but she also wants to have like a starting point, right? Because every time she talks with Emmy and she doesn't have a plan, Emmy's like, "So what's your plan?" And she's like,
That has happened before. Like, all
Right?
right, so
So
what are
she's
we
like,
doing?
"Okay, we're coming in here." Emmy's gonna be like, "Okay, where do we start?" And he's like dropping the book, like, "Here, you go." Fucking
Funnily, that came up last session where your character's like, so what's the plan? And like,
yeah, yeah.
get out of him. Oh.
That's right. Turn it around. Yeah, that I can do it too. All right, that was Arcana. Then we got history. Yeah. Remember, viewers, when you're doing skill checks to translate arcane runes, always use power enhancing substances. That's the key to success. Maybe, perhaps. Ayo.
All right. That's
History.
one more research.
Right. Yeah. Now it's nature and religion. Yeah. 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 Arcana, history, nature, religion. Yeah.
She's researched something about magic, something about how the Mascari did their things, and now it's about, what's going on with elementals and stuff, and then how about souls and death and
Right, life and death.
very relevant to what.
Seems like it could be relevant.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, nature. Come on. Nope.
Ooh, we push it
No.
further than that.
All right. Oh, religion. Yes.
You wish.
That's one more. Yeah. Call up the Lignif. So, what would Tiamat says about?
Oh,
Yeah.
destruction.
Just destroy the tomb. Oh.
Go with your gun.
If you hit it,
Go
what
with
happens?
your gut. Get money. Oh, I mean, I would like to. Yes.
What if you devoured your horde?
I mean, he would probably say something like, do what feels right.
Yeah.
Just what
We're
you're
just
doing.
doing it low.
Right, that gives you another research. You now have 3.
3 researchers. Yes.
Remember, you can spend 1 to gain the reading of a ritual glyph, 2 to identify
Present.
the ritual for which at least 1 glyph is now, or 2
Present.
to modify 1. You have to know if it's possible to modify it first. Reveals when you identify it.
Right. Sorry, I'm just.
No, take your time. It's I mean, who knows how many more years there are left, right?
They're 1.5 according to my death clock. That's the true reason I was like, maybe I actually want the Death
no, no,
King.
no.
Like I would
But
rather.
that was not your death clock. That was Martaine's clock. Your clock at the start of last session said 3 years.
Yeah, I think it changed though, didn't it, Malachi? As he said that.
But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
What does he know, right?
Yeah. What does he know? It's just a greater deity
nothing.
person.
Knowing
He's not a greater deity.
He's coming along, man. Okay, what the fuck? Okay, a fish. Like some of these marks.
what do you mean? You don't like the ancient Imascari sort of
No,
Egyptian
I
style
think
magic things they do? You could find
it's
these
all
sorts of symbols
sloppy.
on like helmed horrors and stuff like that. Invented. Classic.
Alright, there's a bunch of them that I still don't. So I can. Alright, I'm gonna just instead of asking, I'm just gonna read. That's what I should do.
Please, that's
Alright. Because I'm starting to have. I mean, just having Yaffle really it makes like using the research option of like knowing one a lot easier because it turns out that she is in a lot of them.
Mhm.
You
So that's
know.
why you picked that one, right?
Yes. Yes, I had the foresight. God, I wonder, Grimmeth, what do you think? Should I go with like the green ones? One of them? See, they have weird symbols that are not present many other places.
I'm not I'm not for like figuring out the identities of more symbols. Like you could like spend the rest of eternity like trying to decipher all these symbols, and then you could say, "Finally, I've done it! I figured out all the symbols," and still not know like what exactly each ritual
No,
does.
yeah. I should start taking like bricks. Whatever one of these power bars is. Right?
Like you haven't identified like any of the rituals for which one glyph is known.
Yeah.
That would teach you whether you can manipulate it, and Manikai went over like the rules of like what manipulating these things would entail, like how like the green ones are and like the ones down on this layer are the ones that are like most embedded within the ritual.
Yeah, so harder.
Yeah. And then the ones like further up are the ones like more in the ritual's periphery.
So starting from the top, probably.
And it's also a matter of like, what are you hoping to like? What's the first thing you want to do with the ritual?
Well, I'm gonna have to cut the Death King off.
Yeah.
Because basically he'll come anyway if I start tempering. Like, it doesn't matter which one I start on here, he'll fucking show up.
Exactly. Because like he may very well know, and you know that he's been here before, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
at some point in
Perhaps this one?
time,
Like, death is named, and then there's the fish, and these two. I think it's some kind of rebirth thing, or whatever. Phylactery business.
Right? You want that one? That's your
I'm asking
final
Grimace,
answer?
too.
I mean, you're the one who's like more invested in like this ritual cracking than I am. I don't. Just because my character's evolved doesn't mean I have skin in the game. I'm gonna be like some sort of fucking primal spirit when I die. Maybe.
Maybe.
A lot of options at the
but
table.
there's so many, too. Right?
But I absolutely think you should go after identifying a Death King ritual.
Yeah. Well, I am going to. Oh, see, but now I'm getting greedy. I'm like, but what if I took one of the long ones? Then I would maybe have indication of more symbols at the same time.
True. But all these important decisions too.
I hate it. I hate decisions. Did I ever tell you that? I think I've told you that. You know this about me.
This has become painfully evident to me in my time roleplaying.
Yeah.
I mean, you could roll 2d5, length and row and column.
No, that's renew. All right. We'll take this one.
That one. You want the translation, yes?
I want number 2 of the options. Yes.
What does
Fish
it
is
mean?
prosperity.
All right.
Turn wine into water. Oh, wait.
Translations. I have done this thing.
What a curse, Airy. Turn wine into water.
Yeah. So it's the reverse of a good party trick. I don't know. I don't actually drink
now
wine.
you should be able to click on that little runic squiggle thing I put on there to see what it does.
All right. Allows Dead King or Dot King to sustain and command undead by drawing the power to do so through the primary portal of the Imeskari Arcana. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, do you
That's
think that
pretty
he
good.
somehow was amazing enough to have that entire company of undead he prepared?
Yeah.
I know he'd been preparing for a few thousand years, but still.
So this ritual piece basically connects the primary portal, the one that you can't really turn off. At least you haven't discovered a way to do so. Of the ritual, of this tablet here, the Imeskar Arcana, to him, and allows him to use it to basically power his undead in lieu of him having to do it.
Right.
So they're just sort of passively up all the time.
All right.
To seemingly almost unending amounts of them.
You know what? That would be pretty
Mass-produce,
useful for sabotaging him.
It allows him to field armies far larger than he otherwise might be able to do. An opportunity here, should you wish to change it, you can reduce or simply cut it.
Well, I can't now.
No, but I'm supposed to tell you the opportunities. What can you do here, right? If there's anything. And this is far out enough that you could simply, cut off the connection. Or you could reroute it to, basically you would reroute the connection here to a different portal, which is closed or broken. And so it does nothing.
Right.
With 2 more research, you could find out how to entirely negate this ritual.
Well, 1 more research, right?
Yes.
Or, yeah.
Paying 2.
Yes. Sweet.
And then, his armies would be greatly diminished, and he'd probably be very mad Sad.
Well,
Whatever undead
That's-
feel when they lose all their undead.
that's not really my problem, I feel like. Well, it would be, but it's my problem anyway, so no. Alright, cool. Thank you. That's
Thank
great.
you. Do you want to keep the last one, or do you want the sigil?
I'm gonna keep the last one. I think Grimace is right. I need to start translating panels here.
All right.
Saboteur Aerie needs to figure out what exactly she's going to be breaking.
Save it all up and break a bunch of stuff at the.
Yes, it's like fucking two sides of a sticker. Either it's just like brutal ripping and tearing things apart, or it's like studious dragging, sitting and fucking nerding over runes.
It's safe to say this is one of the ones that are currently active. Thus, if you messed with it, he would realize.
No, yeah, like messing with this is like
It would
hey,
collapse
come
a
here.
whole bunch of his undead.
You know, but also very useful. Great. Yeah.
All right. Then
I see.
that's what it's been up to. What about Amy's leader here? As time begins to move on, what's her?
The green dragon grows increasingly restless within a 10-day of staying in the Gulfmere forest, unable to firmly identify what the problem is, so she doesn't know how to solve it. At the end of that time, sulking, her current course of action, trying to find a conduit through which she may expend the least amount of effort, is that she can't be here right now. And so she's going to have to think about this or distract herself with other affairs while in the process of not being here. Because she's no longer comfortable here, this really doesn't feel like home for her anymore. And as she foresaw this being her home, and she doesn't want to build another 120 meter tall fucking pyramid anywhere else in the world, even though she could. I mean, she's level 28. She's got a lot of friends. She could make it happen. But still,
Who's gonna stop her?
yeah. Just a matter of well, fuck, what do I do now? And so she thinks to herself, well, if I don't feel comfortable here, and I'm not going to live here, then my horde can't be here. And then she starts thinking about her wealth, and she says to herself, what's the point of having all of this wealth just lay here if I'm not going to be here? Because it could just be stolen. I can't see it, I can't lay in it, I can't admire it. Maybe the best hoard is the one I can take with me. That way I can always guard it, because it's always with me. And I never have to worry about adventurers coming to claim it or steal it, because, I'll always be with my money. When she has that mindset, it's not a complete problem solver for her so much as it is a philosophical shift. With that in mind, at the end of the 10 days, she resolves to herself that she is going to looks at all of the wealth she acquired from up north over the past few years. Really, the millions of gold that Evander Highcastle had accrued didn't help him. If she ever changes her mind, she's always got more time to build a new hoard. For now, maybe this is for the best. If she can't be here anymore, then she needs to change how her hoard functions. So, with that in mind, she is going to get together with Novacree, and she's also going to do a search for wizards or other ritual casters who know linked portal rituals. Muser Leisure does not want to be here anymore, but she doesn't want to fly to other places to be there. She wants to, she wants to be whisked away. Novacree absolutely will have a teleportation circle in his tower. And she thinks that she could just be in different places. Get away from this whole, Malar thing, get away from this whole nature thing, get away from this whole, not feeling comfortable in her lair thing. Which is typical in Muser Leisure Theater, problem resolution for procrastination. I don't have to solve this right now. Uh, and that's what she is going to do. As for where she is going, probably the first place that she had like some initial interest in going to Neverwinter, but after her conversation with the Archpriest of Talota, she's like, bah, maybe not. So I think the first location she would visit is Calimport.
They certainly
Over.
far away.
Far away. In Kalimsham, no terrible, awful things happening there, no gross plague.
There were some uprisings of various djinns and whatnot, but that's actually a while back. All things considered, it's doing fairly well for itself. Rich, opulent place.
And so, without interruption, she is going to, like, the days will turn into 10 days, which will turn into months, as she starts going on a bit of tour of some major cities in, like, Faerun and beneath Faerun, and even outside of Faerun that she's heard about. She's interested in seeing more of this civilization stuff that's beyond, like, the realm that she knows. She's interested in hunting for, like, potential prizes. She's interested in transitioning her hoard to something more that she can carry with her, like either wearing on her or carrying within, like, her portable hole. And she can't do that anywhere around here, but she's heard of other places that she can go where maybe she can do that and make a life change.
The world is certainly large, and so is the worlds beyond it. The link portal ritual certainly can bring you to most civilized sort of cities on this plane. At your current level, it's not any difficulty to find the sigils. I know you've paid for castings of it, so she'll go on her long journey.
Yes, with sort of like shifting here, and my realization that in 4th edition, buying scrolls. Scrolls can be used even by folks who don't have, like, ritual, like, caster feat. So long as you have the scroll and so long as you have the component cost to pay for that, she can, like, use the scrolls herself.
Sort of expensive versions of rituals.
Yes. I think Novacree ends up being, like, an occasional companion for her, like, in various locations. Like, Novacree, let us go to, Calimport, or let us travel to Zazapur. Or she wouldn't go take him, like, Silvery Moon, or, how about Minzo Barazan? And she buys, like, a polyglot gem for, like, Undercommon, so that she can, like, be down there in, like, the gigantic, like, bustling, like, Drow citadel down there.
She'll go find that apparently Demogorgon has rampaged through the city not too long ago. But beyond that, it's pretty nice.
Yeah. And I think she'll return probably, like, to the Grand Temple Malar, like, once every month, and she'll, like, look around for, like, a couple of days, like, see whether, like, anything, like, needs to be done that demands her attention. See if she has any messages, and then, like, she looks the temple and, like, the beautiful paneling, and it just disgusts her, and she wants to go escape again. And so then she goes to, somewhere else. Or spends time.
I know you considered a little bit where she might go. What is there something out there, do you think, that would really capture her attention? Like something that would mean something to her beyond just, like, escaping her current situation at home?
I thought about whether, like, any of the locations I had thought of that would capture her attention on Faerun would. And I think the first one that comes to mind is Silvery Moon. The all the way up there, like the gem of the north in northwest Faerun, just due to, like, its beauty and sort of, like, the rich, like, magical history that place used to have. And I think, like, in the stories of, like, what she's, like, heard of, like, the history of that, she, doesn't know, like, what its current status is, and so part of that would be, like, well, let's go see what its current status is.
Yeah, it is, Beautiful, beautiful elven city. Currently, part of the Lord's Alliance, fighting against as it turns out, the orcs and the Chosen of Talos.
Huh. How about that?
Alongside the dwarves of Mithril Hall.
Yeah, indeed.
Incredibly bad distraction, actually. So,
Well, I mean, the thing is, wherever she goes, there's like some sort of chosen great divine tumult. It's pretty much universal.
Right. Like she knew to expect that, and like where so many folks are like, this is a calamity, this is an apocalypse. She's basically going on a pleasure cruise that she's never really got on before to like experience and sample different cultures and see what this world is like, even though it's in like such an apocalyptic state right now. Because for her, money is no object. She doesn't even have to be a dragon. Anyone who would attempt to rob her or accost her is in for a very rude
Oh,
awakening.
yeah. Look at this merchant. Give me your wallet, and then you don't even have to think about it to make them into mist, right?
Yes. And so, this Chandathan woman can end up going and experiencing these places. I think before she would leave, like Faerun, though, I think she would end up spending some time in I thought about that before I even knew had the visit with the Archpriest of Talona, and I think she that doesn't change her mind on making that choice. Athkatla, the capital city of uh, and Crimor, which is another prominent city not too far from that. I think she would spend time there and sort of ponder about the destruction and devastation that has been wrought upon and wonders whether she might have the Emerald Enclave do something about that, and then wonders whether she might do something about that.
In classic fashion, the wealthy have simply isolated their quarters of the city and are living fairly well, though they can't go to as many theater plays and whatnot as they usually would. But they have food. They have servants who don't go outside. They're fairly isolated given their prestige and wealth. It really is the masses of people who cannot afford that. Of course, is a incredibly divisive place where you're either usually incredibly wealthy or very poor. It seems like even civilization has its predators, right, sitting on top, sort of.
Yes, and witnessing this, such a downfall of civilization, causes further philosophical quandaries. And while she does find poison to be satisfying, she finds herself annoyed at the Archpriest of Talona, especially that visit, and also thinks of the possibility of establishing a balance, and in so doing further the power of the Emerald Enclave. So she earmarks this idea, she'll return to this back later in the year, but she's gonna slowly think about that too. It'd be a great distraction from her other problems, and she's got time anyway.
Yeah.
That's what interests her on Faerun. But I think the primary thing that interests her is a locale of immense reputation, floating amid the elemental plane of fire. That is the city of Brass, one of the the preeminent trade location that is fosters this interplanar trade that she wants to go to. For if she is going to actually liquidate her hoard and assets into something of significance, then she needs to go to a place of significance to make that happen.
Yeah. Beginning to do planar travel is fine. City of Brass, it's the elemental plane of fire. Currently, elemental chaos. Also, in seen quite some upheaval. But generally, the rulers of the city of Brass are these incredibly powerful Ifriti lords who have sort of managed to solve their problem without really too much of an issue. Completely different culture, entirely a different culture, and certainly, like if you're talking civilization, right? You have a completely different view on it in such a place. Colossal, enormous city. I mean, just some of the numbers of things, right, would make her feel small. She's an epic level dragon. She's more powerful than most things. But still, when a noble house can have the service of 10,000 dragons, I mean, it's one place where she, in her epic dragon nature, can disappear in the crowd. Which just doesn't happen.
That's a remarkable idea, that she can go to a place that has millions in it, including like so many like slaves, and just being like such an immense like interplanar like and powerful location. Like how epic tier characters here are not out of the norm. But she can go somewhere that people haven't heard of her is reminds her of old times when she wasn't being hunted.
Yeah.
Well, she was always being hunted. In a way.
And as she stays, perhaps for a little bit longer, she does begin to feel a strange sensation, a tug. When she travels the plains, famously, people's souls are still connected to their home planes along silvery threads, allowing you to basically be, if you're banished with a spell, you're just kicked home. Or if someone cuts that thread, your soul is severed from your body. But it seems that the longer you spend time in the plains, the more these threads begin to tug backwards, pulling you back towards the material. On the inner planes here, like the elemental planes or the Fae, it doesn't seem to be like you can sort of ignore it, though it is after a while it becomes like a more permanent state of just sort of souring everything a little bit, because it's like someone tugging at your sleeve continuously, hurrying you along to come back. Your soul wants to go home. Come back. Probably spurred by the ritual. You do think if you were to travel to further of the outer planes, which are not really that accessible at the moment, they're sort of in a bit of an uproar, that might become more of a painful sensation, or maybe even a forceful sort of jolt to pull you back towards the material plane. You are tethered to this ritual in a way that is interfering with long-term planar travel.
I suppose it's good to figure that out now.
Yeah, because one of the other places you have mentioned you might want to go is certainly in an outer plane.
Yes.
That would be. In fact, that said, City of Brass should have anything you might.
Yeah.
Might need to purchase. It's just a colossally, ridiculously sized place.
I think it's easy to lose interest in the potential of like, well, what about Sigil anyway? When like gawking at what the she could just like spend decades like here trying to decipher all this stuff within the City of Brass.
Easily, it is. Again, it is at a size that is ridiculous. It's just
nothing on Faerun compares. Yeah, I think that's probably where she just spends like, and she thinks like, what? She starts entertaining the idea, well, what if I just move to like civilization? But not anywhere like, what if I just buy a home here? She thinks to herself, just live here for a time. Maybe once the rituals like resolve one way or the other. That's probably where she like loses herself through like the summer and the fall, checking in again like once every month, but otherwise just like spending like so much time just there in the City of Brass.
Yeah. Sure. then we have sort of an idea of what the two dragons are going to be spent their time doing. But of course, there's also non-dragon people who have important things to do that we should pay some attention to, just because, you know, they are relevant for our game, even if the dragons are not personally involved, or they might become involved. Especially the marked or
I was gonna say, I have been involved.
right? Because of course the Netherreal Empire Cormyr want to throw down. Well, Netherreal Empire wants to, and it's time to see how that goes. And I'm a bit nervous here, because of course this is a could go either way, and that's scary. So we'll start with the Netherese trying to simply break down the defenses. If they can manage to beat down Cormyr enough, they might be able to really get going. The first thing they'll do, though, is bring the Sembian forces over. They need Sembia to come in striking, because they are actually somewhat damaged against them. They were unfortunate with their amounts of damage. They haven't just healed to -1. There's that. Indeed, Sembian forces will be marching on Cormyr and will be assaulting the land with the intention to damage territory, move Cormyr's defensive capability. It's a hard thing to fight. I'm gonna take that on the chin. Do about that.
Symbion's military does, in fact, damage the territory.
Push further in. Again, that is a Cormyrian counterattack instead. Spare that territory where you can. Strike back, and that looks like this, slapping the a bit of damage themselves. You know, a victory, normally on the border here, and now is a good time as any, after basically the army of Sembia has moved across the no man's land and into Cormyr proper. That one of the northern Sembian cities declares itself independent. Apparently, the merchant guild there has decided that they're going to bet their money on the idea that maybe Netherreal doesn't have the strength to fight them after this. Whoever leaves quickly and sort of puts their money on that, well, they're going to win big, right? So that sort of begins sparking things happening over in Sembia, which might prompt some Sembians to go back, because, you know, need to solve that problem. That said, they're not really allowed yet. Sembia has to be defeated after Ushilma's Empire has fallen, then so Netherreal strike. Start by striking at the soldiery. They saw that counterattack. Cormyr isn't entirely defeated yet. Just gonna accept that hit. Can't been too much. Another attack. The counterattack, hoping for some threes. Which is bad. Very bad. As Cormyr tries to push back, force the enemy out of their lands, but Netherreal Empire does not relent. News will spread south. Dragons will eventually hear that the king of Cormyr is dead. Been killed. You know, no one really knows if it's in battle. Allegedly poison. Maybe someone stabbed him. He's dead, and now it's time for. Oh wait, actually, his peaceful son has also been killed. battle. Which means that there's some sort of dilettante out there. Always spending his time at like some sort of party suite during the fighting. Official heir, though a coronation has been postponed for the moment, given the actual assaults upon the city. A real villain it is. That looks like a counterattack.
Where was that roll?
Even. They fight equally. The 1 BP spent is definitely not true. He spent a lot more than that. Yeah. Well, Netheril just continues. They need this done. They have other places to be. Omir is running out of fighting prowess. Is kind of beginning to lose a bit.
These fucking chosen need to go get to work.
Yeah, they are certainly doing something. I mean, this is over time, right? It's a siege more so than constant assaulting. With the Flying Citadel basically bombarding Cormia down there with spells. No, it's encounter
It's
power.
still
They wait 10
up.
minutes and do it again. What? The Flying City?
Yes.
Yes, how do you bring that down?
Well, one chosen took one down.
Well, the small one.
It was the
Okay,
small
but
one.
there's like 10 chosen there.
It's true. It'll be less now. But,
Ugh.
yeah, word is also that, the person leading the charge here, Shah didn't find a dragon. What she does have is the Lord of the Netheril Empire. Archmage, thousands of years old, now also chosen of Shar, leading the assault. Killing and devouring the power of other chosen, ever possible. It's a bad scene. If only there was someone who could come help. Oh well. Cormia stands alone. Which is actually not true entirely. Tizir will violate the Edict of Belignith and the Dragonfane and send direct military aid to Cormir. If the city must be attacked by the dragons again to save Cormir from the Netherese, then they will.
No, the the city of Westgate under Cormir supports this action and will take it up with the Dragonfane.
They will strike up the flag and send aid. Military power. Keep fighting.
So,
Bill.
chosen of Shar, huh?
Yes. Chosen of Shar. A character that probably was already level 30 and then got that on top.
Fuck.
A real powerhouse of certainly didn't need more power.
So, what would a man Shun know of this guy?
Oh, he's
Ancient
way older
mage.
than me. Way older. Manchun doesn't know much about him because he hasn't really been back for that long. Manchun has been dead for most of that time.
Right.
But no, yeah, it sounds like really bad news. Would not want to fight that guy.
Yeah, someone who's level 30 and then became chosen of, a very powerful deity.
Yeah,
But there's so many other chosen there. Surely they could
there's
do something.
a few from like some dead gods.
Ugh.
Like a helm. Sort of. Yeah, it's great, right? You just wish that someone would do something about it.
Yes,
But
I
alas,
wish that I could.
There's no one coming to Cormier's aid. Netherrealm takes a moment here to gather its strength further. Draw upon more power from its lands. Cormyr will try to do a similar thing, calling in whatever help they can to assist themselves. They'll damn well take it.
Excuse me. Does Cormyr have a treasury of 5 by chance?
Yes, why?
No reason.
Da-da.
Just not a-
Time has come.
Just-
So does Sembia, though. So.
I mean,
like the idea to permanently gain treasury just came to mind, which is why I
Yeah.
started laughing.
I want to help
But
Cormyr,
shouldn't-
but I
you know,
can't
shame
kill-
as you load the shotgun, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you already did your part last
It's a
session, Eric.
mercy, really, to put them down now.
You don't want the Netheril Empire getting all that money.
I mean, you could suddenly jump ship, right? Wonder what Netheril would say to you joining them now. Right?
No. Fuck that.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't be.
Shar sucks.
Shar is not graceful in victory.
No, she's not. No, she's not graceful. Like,
All right.
period.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Another attack. Oh boy.
But I can't
Hammers into Cormyr. They just
kill
covered
a
that.
30
it's
plus.
true. It is just beyond you. Even Visig, I mean, yeah. On his flying mega citadel, with all the other archmages and shadow people that he's got. Apparently, he's got like 9 kids who are also each like an archmage. So it's a
But he
real problem.
is a higher level than you, Eric. So at least there's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, if I survive long enough to hit him once, I'll do a little more damage,
Well, with that strike, the nice, other heir to the current king of Cormyr now, also dead. It turns out. Pleasure House exploded. Massive fireball. No more of that. Running out of,
not too bad about that.
running out of the royal line. There's various tales saying that if the line of Oberskir should end, then Cormyr will fall. So I feel somewhat worried now because there's sort of running out of. Beginning to look at some of those distant cousins who go by different names, but technically, I mean, you could trace something.
The Black Dread, for instance, is.
We can adopt Vesicatrix. No, none of that. Right.
God.
But in the nick of time, as that is to happen, Cormyr seems like it is. Honestly, it went really well at the beginning with Myth Draenor here and saving
Did
the
it?
elves of Cormanthor. Well, not this session, but previously. In this
Okay, I
war.
was gonna say it feels like they've been
Move the
beaten.
darkness.
And
like,
Malachi was
3
referring
sessions.
to Myth Draenor, which banished all of the shadow, which would have made it much harder for Cormyr if all this land was also covered in darkness.
True.
You
they
have fought
stick
well. You fought hard, but they have not been as lucky as perhaps they could have hoped for. That said, there are events in motion which will also have a pretty grave effect on the outcome on this battle. Normally, I would just do this behind the screen, but honestly, I feel like these events are important enough for our game, in a way, in sort of a roundabout way. This conflict is central enough and give enough show that we should have, that I should roll the dice in front of you. Maybe have you roll some of them. Because over in Candlekeep, the army of devils have managed to strike hard and fast enough that the sage of Shadowdale has to step in. Elminster himself has to show up and try to stop them, alongside other of the old chosen of Mistra that he gathers together to make like a last-ditch effort to protect this repository of knowledge. However, one of them betrays him. Yes. And instead of helping him defend Candlekeep, chooses to consume the well of magic that is within. Eating it for himself. This person is here, token.
The Manchun.
No, it is Laloch, an ancient lich, allegedly a king, or one of the sort of god kings of Old Netherrealm, who didn't flee away into the Shadowfell, but rather stuck around all this time. Also known as the man who taught Sastam how to be a cool lich.
Great.
Taught him everything he knows, you know. Beyond that, of course, there is, Elminster is here doing things. Now betrayed. He couldn't believe. He trusted the ancient lich to help. Along with
this canon?
along with his friend, Illustrial Silverhand, the elf open lord of Waterdeep. What a terrible circumstance that it has been to have poor Elminster be backstabbed in such a grave way for something so important. Because he learns, indeed, what Laloch's evil plan is. And yes, this is very paraphrased. Laloch has found a way to consume magic, and through that, a way to connect all magic back to Mystra. By consuming magic, he can restore Mystra to life. But if he does it in his way, it will be a version of Mystra that is basically him. This is something Elminster doesn't like, because he dated Mystra on and off, and it would really not be great if she was much like this old Netherese skeleton.
No, Netherese lich.
Now the problem is, to do this, Laloch needs another big bout of magic, something called a Mythalar. There's only very few of those around. Mythdraenor is one, certainly. It's very well protected by ancient guardians and is currently very strong. Not an easy thing to attack. But there's another one, which is currently engaged in violent combat, that if could be taken by him, we could have a world where, well, the god of magic is a horrid lich, a horrid Netherese lich. He's going to take his power and head off the battle raging of Suzail December. And on his heels are the two allies here of the Harpers, Elminster and Illustriel. They will arrive. Nice.
I fucking love. They're all chosen of Mystra.
Yes, Mystra, famously neutral deity, and thus just sort of appreciated anyone who could.
Yeah, it's a good thing for her. She was the fucking goddess of magic, because like, how like all these other ones are like, oh yes, I used all my power, now I have one chosen, and she's just like, you're chosen, you're chosen, you're chosen. Look under your seat.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a greater deity for you. Then she got killed. Anyway.
Beyond that, of course, we have the Chosen of Shar also ready to fight. And as you would have it, for independent reasons, there's also a couple of these guys around. Doing their thing.
And they're also chosen of Mystra.
Yes.
Do you notice the slightly different names on each of the tokens, Harry?
Oh, I see. Oh no, Menshoom, Menshaun. Oh, that's great. I appreciate that.
As each of them the real one.
Yeah, obviously.
And what I had in mind we would do now is we would see who wins this fight, because this is, slightly different than it is known to in lore. In lore, there are more people involved, believe it or not. But given the situation we've played out, they are not available. And so I don't know how this conflict is going to go. How do we estimate who would win in this multi-sided magical duel for the fate of the domain of magic? which seems like an important, thing to figure out.
Obviously, Char's Chosen is going to have skin in the game as well, yeah.
Yeah, he wants, he does not want people to blow up his flying citadel so that they can become
And
a god.
devour it.
That's sort of the first step.
That was the first thing I was
Uh,
like, if we took down one, I was like, I want to eat the core.
That's what each of them are here to do.
Yeah.
Well, Elminster and Illustriel here want to let the magic be free so that some version of Mystra can be returned to the realms. Telemond here, the chosen of Shar, would very much like to kill the others and take their power to empower himself. Maybe then he can use it to later. Right now he just wants not to have his city blown up. And then maybe later he could consume Mithranor or something like that. Become like a shadow weave magic deity under the guise of Shar. That'd be great for everyone, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure that he would stay under Shar.
Larlock believes that, there should be a god of magic, and why not him? I mean, he has always been a loyal servant of Mystra and believes in the tenets. Just, what if there was less wimpy archmages around and more cool ones?
I mean...
And the various versions of Manshun are here also to try to do something like that, though they're not really in the same class of power as these other people. So
they're waiting for backstab.
If they win, we'll see what happens, is what I'm focused. Now, I've given each of these people a very, through a mechanical, powerful formula I have developed, I have assigned each of them a die. This is their power die. This is how tough they are in this battle. So we can have an idea of that. And what we'll do simply is we'll roll, and whoever gets the lowest roll on their die is eliminated from the fight. Not necessarily dead, but certainly out of the race here. Now, Elminster is allied with Illustriel Silverhand here. They work together. So, that should give them a good leg up. Yeah, and I don't know how this is going to go. So why... Does anyone feel like they want one of you guys pick a team?
Yeah, I'll pick Larlock here.
All right, Larlock, the King of Shadow. All right, Ari, who are you feeling for?
Right.
You know what? I'll tell you what. The Manshoons are the same team. They don't work together, obviously, but if you pick one of them, you can roll all of them. They're D4s. They're not very likely to win, but
Right, I was thinking of that just because it's funny because I have one of them, but at the same time,
what do you want to roll for Elminster and Illustriel?
No, I do not. I'll be responsible for their death. I can't roll above lower than 50%. So.
On the other hand, if you play as the Chosen of Shar and just start fucking crushing rolls, you're gonna agonize over it for the rest of the time.
Yes, why you picked Larlock, isn't it?
No, because I don't feel the same way you do. I think if you feel that way, then just play as the various Marchand flavors. That way you can't feel any sort of guilt at all.
I won't lay up at night because of that.
Unless they win, in which case, who knows what the future of the realms are.
In which case, I have incoming.
So Telemond got a 1, Larlock got a 2, Elminster still got 3.
I see that.
And one of the Manshoons got a 4.
Until these guys just battling each other on top of things.
So I say, I feel like in my mind, I'm like, maybe I should position the Sigurdrigs just out here, just this
beyond
person's
that,
down.
a thing to consider, of course, is that this flying citadel is above the capital of Cormyr. It comes down hard. Cormyr has not managed to fight it away or to get rid of it, so... You know what happens when big meteoric mountains fall on things.
I mean, that was going to happen.
Not pretty. Hopefully Cormyr has a contingency. They do have something. But
I mean, all the fucking Chosen of Mystra here.
Alright, so shall we begin round 1 of the battle for divinity? The duel to set our fates here.
So I just roll 3d4s?
Yes, please roll them separately so we know I mean,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
they also want to
Yeah,
mess with each
if
other.
you just roll 3d4, like that does nothing. So you'd have to do, 1d4, 1d4, 1d4.
See.
Whoa,
Well, he's probably
hey!
not going down.
1d.
We're doing them in reading
Four.
direction. He
No.
might. Poor man shown.
1d4.
Oh,
Yeah.
those might take each other out. Well, then we have Illustrial. If we get all ones on the same one, I think we will just have to re-roll between those people. You got a 3.
Oof.
Elminster here. Also safe.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Alamont. Also safe. Like I say, all right.
Save.
Well, a Manshun goes out. I don't know that it matters which one. Do you like Manshawn or Manshawn better?
I feel like Manchown gotta go.
Right, yeah, it's a less catchy name.
Yeah.
All right, one of them folds off the top of this.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Wizard duels. They're out there playing Magic the Gathering, Harry.
They are.
Yeah.
Planeswalk.
I started playing that for a bit recently
All right,
again
all right.
because
All right, round 2.
Round 2.
1d4. Come on, hey yo!
Might end up doing this yet. The other one. All right. Well,
Not a 1, but a 2.
we have Striel. She might go out.
Oh no!
We have type of roll as well. Elminster and Telemont.
I thought they
staying
were
in.
allies.
Larlock
Yeah.
wins this round.
They're allies. They want the same thing.
Oh, I thought they were helping each other.
Yeah. Well, that means that Illustrial is out.
You fool! I will become the Duke, God of
Yes!
Magic.
I mean, it's hard to hate on him.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like-
again, it would vastly change our realm, right? So
Yeah.
it's important to do it.
Well, but it's like,
Illustrial, a
why shouldn't it be I?
powerful and ancient elf, has been in many places, many positions. Not as strong as Elminster, and currently has been dealing with a lot of crap, and has to retreat, wounded from this battle, leaving the Sage of Shadowdale now in a disadvantaged position to Larlock, who is the greatest mage of any of these people, having already consumed the power of the words of Candlekeep.
That's right.
Halfway to godhood, the dream of the Netherese for so long will be fulfilled in him.
The most chosen of Mistra.
All right, the next round. Let's see how
Yes.
people do.
Come on. Ooh.
Well, one of the Manshuns are.
Just rooting for chaos.
We have Elminster. Good old Elminster. He's good. And the other guy is also here. All right.
Good enough.
Unsurprisingly, it is another Manchurian. They do die when they go down.
Yeah.
Fly down. All right. Getting down to the wire now.
Oh
More
no!
spells are being cast. More
Come
magic
on!
thrown around.
Wizard duel
No!
continues.
Needs to go their way.
Oh!
Needs to go their way. Have
Take one of them with you. Manshaun.
Elminster.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no! Well, we know Telemont is safe. Well, we got to roll again. So, and now it's just lowest again. So Elminster gets a
Oh
7.
my god!
Or well,
Oh!
it's close. They're all hanging by thread as Manshun falls.
What a free for all! Like Telemon's like, let me just get out of this.
Yeah, well, these
I'm
people kill
above
each
you.
other.
It was the shard. My powers are so dark and edgy.
Ugh.
Those
All
three, the final clone with Elminster, Larlock, just have a
That would have been.
mage duel.
Yeah,
On
now I
top
think
of
I might not have
spires.
picked the right one. I don't think mine
All
could have
right,
lasted that
Ari,
long.
do you want to take over Elminster or Telemont?
No!
Which one?
No! I don't want any of them.
Oh, come on.
No! No! I am sweating.
People will tell me I'm bad for not engaging my players.
That's okay. I don't give a shit about that.
All right. Fine. I'll roll for both of them. Are you sure I can't make you just roll a d8?
Dude, I will kill them. Oh no. I don't like this.
I'm enjoying the Ares agony more than I am this.
Do you want to just watch?
No, I don't want to watch Oars be part. I want to leave.
Well, who are you cheering for, right?
Yeah, all these are bad options.
I mean,
well, okay,
statistically, at this point, it's
actually
Lala,
cheering
right?
for Elminster somehow.
Once Illustrial fell out of the race because her and Elminster were helping each other, right? So
How are you saying all these are bad options? One of them involves the Citadel continuing to fly. One of them involves the core being devoured and thus not flying.
Yes,
That's a victory for us, right? Because it hurts the
yeah.
Netherrealm Empire.
Telmont need to go down, but I don't know if that means that I should play him or not.
All right, let's keep the session moving here.
let's keep the session moving.
Go
Let's
for
have
it,
Elminster, Elamont. Well,
Larlock is out.
oh no!
No.
Well,
Oh man.
banished. He's
One roll
struck
engine.
back to his phylactery. Well,
I'll have to devour another source of magic.
Yeah. Look at this then.
Just
Right
like
out
the
of the
books.
Yeah.
You know,
I haven't read the books, but
except maybe this doesn't end the same way. Spoilers, Elminster had another really powerful person in his team last time this went down.
I'll roll for Telebot. I'm not afraid.
Do it. Elminster, 4. Not a good 5.
Telebot wins.
yeah, where's Dritz when you need him? Isn't he supposed to be
Doing
here?
other things.
He's not a wizard.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So the
Backstab
strike has
motherfucker.
happened. Lalog was banished back to his crypt. A bunch of Manchurians died, as it turns out. What a tragedy. Everyone's very sad. And at the end, still flying is the Citadel. Not only that, but Telemont has grown more powerful.
What?
Like, the shadow soon be ascendant across the world. He cannot ascend yet. He will need another source of power because he's not going to eat his own Citadel. There are limits. So maybe Light will have a chance yet, but there will not be a returned god of magic. Omir will have no relief. Yeah. The hammer of the Netherrealm Empire. This is news that'll be spread, right? Like, a big battle was, but Shar is ascendant. Abandon all hope. Who hold such foolish.
Alright, it's time to gather the Avengers. I mean,
Others will strike again. Unimpressively, apparently. Just as they won, now it seems like.
I mean, he might have become more powerful, but
Took a lot of them. Strike? Nope. Huh.
oof.
Well, it turns out Cormier, without any magical assistance, is battling back somehow, just from enemy inability to commit. Well, Sembia still has resources to pull upon. So they'll begin to pull upon their territory, muster more people. Some pieces are rebelling, but that's fine. They can be dealt with. If this victory is done, then soon godhood will be within reach from their boss. Don't want to mess with anyone who has that in the future.
Shouldn't be out here doing heavy lifting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of embarrassing, isn't it?
Why are you serving the Netherrealm Empire?
Nope. Nope. Alright, that's... Comer's just gonna take that. Given how the enemy has been doing here, not engaging seems to be the way to go. Because okay, maybe not. Nothing Cormac can do but to lose some permanent stats here. Well, at that point, there will be no... The siege is not yet done. Telemont is victorious. The Netherrealm did not lose their flying citadel. Cormyr has permanently lost some of its defenses, and are certainly facing a grave. That said, time is passing, and the Netherese are... They want to get moving, because now that he has knowledge of this ritual and the thought to become a god and form the Shadow Weave, take up that domain of magic for Shar, they have places to be. And it's not really here. Now they just need to stomp out Cormyr, and then they can begin to move on a bit. Do they want to continue? It makes sense. I feel like we kind of want this whole fight to be done with. We just rolled terribly right now. They're still standing. I guess that's fine. I guess that's fair. They won the air battle, but they cannot subject everything. Probably what this means is that the Cormyrian capital, the enemy soldiers are in the streets. The outer walls have been breached. They're marching, but there's still holdouts of resistance. Quite powerful ones, like the Castle Oberskir is still standing, as are various settlements and such around the country. Had this Netherese citadel fallen upon this city, then welcome to Westgate Westgate would have been the second largest city in Cormyr. Would have been thing. No, it's the fourth. But yeah, no, I think that's where that'll stay for the year. Have the power to. Not yet. So next year it will be done. Let's see here.
All right.
Yeah, it's one of these things that is a bit of a gate we needed to pass. I need to know how this conflict turned out so that I can
absolutely
consider the future. All right. As for other things that are important to note this year, of course, this continues the war, really dragging it out for all parties. Cormyr is a harrowing situation for them. On the news of Umberlee, there will be no more forces of Umberlee appearing. Umberlee is stepping away from this whole chosen race and leaving it. Not going to fight that anymore. Secretly, and unbeknownst to everyone, however, Umberlee begins to send visions and collect people who have not been collected for a long time in a place somewhere to the north. A place called the Temple of Elemental Evil. If the world scorns her, then she will drown all of it, and then see who laughs.
Oh, the
Choosing a
wave.
less
Crushing
focused,
wave.
Yes, the crushing wave cult. Choosing a less obvious path. Conquest of the world. Than outright battle. That said, probably you're all happy to not have to deal anymore.
I was going to say, what about the fleet of Umberlee that is currently in Westgate?
Not. It takes off
Okay.
into the file.
Yeah,
Because they don't have a
okay.
leader anymore. And, the temple's still there. It's not like people forget Umberlee. He still has
No.
power, but as a major factor in the world, she recedes a little bit back to the background. No more
All right.
torrential
I was
rains.
expecting
No
to
more,
have to punch her
no
other
more
chosen.
constant waves. No, I mean the thing is, if she sent it and you won again, then she would be degraded even more. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
You know, she was at full strength before. You'd chosen. No need to double down on failure. That doesn't really get her anything. All right. All right. Good. Something about Lord's Alliance fighting a serpent god somewhere in Nahara. You know, minor news these days. So, Tiamat is doing very well and is further empowered. There's a lot of strife going on in the world, a lot of war and fighting, and now in even this Netheril Cormier conflict, like it could have gone to an explosive stop. Really, any other way than how it went. But
The one true Marchand.
raise his
all right,
ascendancy.
then I think it's time for me to light a few incendiaries here.
Do it.
Because this green dragon is coming back on the autumn equinox. Done with her time at the city of Brass. It's the 264th day of the year. And there are 365 in the calendar of Harptos. She comes back. Her horde has been liquidated to a much smaller extent. And items have been exchanged for things that she finds portable and also has enjoyable. There's still like some souvenir pieces, like items that she like admires or she looks at or she finds fascinating. But her hoard has been transferred into things that she can wear, or that she carries in her portable hoard, in her portable hole. And that does include the vial, because she figures that like having that in an extra-dimensional space seems pretty okay. Especially if she wears that extra-dimensional space on her. She isn't crazy enough to stack extra-dimensional spaces, you know, no bag of holding into a handy haversack into a portable hole. That sounds like it'll break things. I'm a DM. I know how that goes. Is her allegiance here, like, returns, she looks at what she's done, cleaning out, like, the place where she used to rest. It's content. And she gets the news of what's happened, like, up north. Boy, it's been a doozy, huh? And I think she's offended. She had sent captains of Symbian vessels to inform their superiors of what would come for them, what would befall them, what could happen to them. And they did not heed the warning of Emisari Lidrathir, Elder of the Emerald Enclave, Slayer of an Astral Kraken. And I think that's enough to spur her into action, because civilization should fear this green dragon. And she is going to see to it that it will, in some capacity. For that, she is going to round up this Emerald Enclave, because the seas are perfectly safe to travel in right now.
You know, for the followers of Sylvanas, especially so. They conquered it.
Yes. Let's see here. We're going to use... Let me check these stats here, because I'm going to be doing direct attacks. And I'm going to be having half of my dice pool. So I need to might and treasure. Delightful. Okay, so I'm going to use territory and sovereignty to increase might. Yeah, it gets done.
Yeah, just while you're doing that, you know, a little news from the Emerald Enclave. Montaigne has been here now for a good year, pretty much.
Yeah.
And yeah, his doctrine is become more traditional, really. It seems like Salasnar is gonna stick around, though his planned retirement was certainly always the idea. Because he's from a time where things were more clear cut. Martain has reinforced the idea that droids should not use dead material as armor or weapons. They don't use metal or some such, because really, the natural cycle is about life and death. It's about death coming from life and returning to life in a continuous cycle. Thus, you should not kill things with dead material. That is not how it's supposed to go. Like, you kill things with teeth, with like pieces of bone. You can use wood if you want, or various living creatures. And ideally, you should also take in whatever you destroy, at least, or allow it to return to the natural. So ideally, not like a lot of fire. Poison's okay. You can spear things with rib knives or whatnot, but generally
Rough
just
to be
steer
fire.
away from metal, that sort of thing. It's not what we not what's needed. Druids need to reconvene, to gather up, and to reinforce themselves. It's time to build them into an actual battle force, Lannis can come out and say, no, Umberlee, no more. And he needs them to fight the forces. That's his perspective. All right, you're raising stats.
Yes, I have exchanged territory and influence to raise might and treasure, taking might and treasure off of the negative ones they've had, as I've been sending support to Cormier, and instead turning them to positive ones.
Mm-hmm.
As for the target, Invisor Allegiance here is looking to make a direct statement. That's not attacking might. That's not attacking like Symbian ships. That's taking Saerloon, which is going after territory.
All right. The large merchant city, though certainly it was greater when it wasn't, enshrouded in shadow for 100 years.
Absolutely.
Now suddenly people, are very pale as they blink at the sun, but they're about to discover a whole lot of different things then showing up.
They sure are.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 6 might, 5 treasure. That's 11 dice. I'm adding that's 12. That's divided by 2, so that's 6 dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is going to be that 6 dice. That's 99955 attacking Symbios territory.
They're just gonna take that. Yep. You strike, smashing into the walls. They just passively defend. They don't really. I mean, chances are they don't have people around there, right?
Right.
At the moment, they'll have to redivert forces from elsewhere to
See.
Suddenly druids are coming. Like that's like beasts and summoned creatures and.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Instead of me deducting a might, Dragonfane. Give me some materials I can use against a fortified location, if you'd please.
You know what? That makes too much sense. They won't just give you the +1 might. They'll let you use the siege behemoths. Right? They love those. That's against fortifications.
I feel like the thing that Dragonfane and the Lizards are like, they need the barest hint of an excuse to bring out their fucking behemoths.
Oh god, that's beautiful.
It's like, if there's a reinforced door, bring out Gorm.
It's that scene, Lord of the Rings, right? Like, whatever comes through this door, hold fast, men of Sempia, and then suddenly, like, fucking dinosaurs bash down the door. Because druids can be them, too.
Yeah, that's 10
General
plus
Awakened
me.
Triceratops.
That's 11. Plus 2 from the Dragonfane is 13. Divided by 2 is 6. Going after territory once again. Double 8s.
The counterattack would be great, but they spent so much of their treasure just attacking that they'll try to resist you. They can't just take it. But no. Which means yes, you do more damage to the territory as they sent the militia, right, to fight the kin.
The siege behemoths.
Yeah. The like couple of Netherese wizards that are back here, like the governor or whatever.
Yes.
Coming out and looking like, what in the world is this?
And all on the way, Invisor Legion is basically moved to Saerloon. And the warning that she espouses as she hacks people apart is, you have defied nature for too long. You have been warned. collectively, she assumes that they've all been warned. They all must be guilty. 5 might, 4 treasures,
The
9
merchants
plus 3.
in the northern cities of Sebia, very devastated to hear about the outcome of the battle that they had bet their money on, but now somewhat like, oh yeah, okay, maybe it's okay. Dinosaurs.
Yeah, 9. In these early years, 10. The Dragon Fane is a +2 for 12. Divided by 2 is 6 dice against Symbia's territory. That's triple 10,
Oh,
double
boy.
3.
All right, that's. They are now on temporary 0 territory.
I'm fucking moving in, damn it. Okay. They don't have more territory. I suppose I should ask that. Does Symbia have more territory than I do?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that I'd check. I didn't expect to live up here, but you know what?
Well,
Maybe we will.
they actually have more than they started with because they took this sort of bit here from Colbier.
That's
Like pretty
fair.
early on in the first conflict.
I help with that.
All right. So that -1. So I'm going to be at 11 dice, which divided 2 is 5. So I'm going to spend a point of Draconic Essence. I'm already here. Let's get this done permanently. Spend point of Draconic Essence that bumps my pull up to 12, which gives me 6 dice. And if I have a beach point here, I can get my full dice pool against these motherfuckers. Double 8s.
I mean, they'll counterattack. They don't want to lose. They don't want you to have a beach point. Double 6 is not enough.
Yes.
Oh wait, always unlikely, right? But yeah, that puts that. Now I think actually their capital is probably worth more than one of their points here. But this does mean that you have secured like the regions here, like the coasts, right?
All right. I'm still at territory 3 then, but I do have a beach point now.
Yep.
As siege dinosaurs have landed.
Mhm.
Behemoths.
Yeah, which means that they're in a, I mean, this is an unfortunate sort of jumping into this conflict. It's not like Netheril's going to save them. They
No.
don't care.
So, Mulhassan is a city-state that decided that it was going to rebel from the Netheril Empire?
You're looking more like up here.
Okay.
These guys,
Right,
the ones that are like far away from them.
Selgon's the capital, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go after that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll attack territory again. So, might and treasure. That's 4 might, 3 treasure. Me makes 8. Siege Behemoth makes 10.
Mhm.
Double 10, double 8.
There's another victory. You can territory 4 -3.
Okay.
As you've now taken Sirloon, taken this sort of island area here. It's compared to the Gulfmere, I mean it's decent land. Like you can farm it, you can.
The folks who are on with this adventure are not the nice ones. The nice ones are all in Cormyr. These are the ones who hate civilization who've come along for the ride.
It's just burn and pillage everything.
Yes.
Probably just burn. I don't think anyone's actually taking anything. Why would you? You don't need it. You just need to
The Malorites
live in
don't
your,
really
like,
care
skin
about it.
cloak
Yeah.
and have a lot of blood. Except for like children and such, they're sent ahead as refugees so that they can grow up and then be hunted and killed. So
Yes. We do not kill the pregnant. We do not kill children. We do not wish to fully depopulate the region. But Malorites are certainly ones who are bringing the punishment to civilization.
oh yeah. All right, yeah. I mean, you're there, right? These guys are...
I've obviously my icon doesn't permanently live here, but I wanted it to be here so I could zoom in and make rolls as needed.
I'll paint green or something up here if you stick around.
Sure. Okay. Well, I think the next thing I'm going to do is go after their pride and joy, which is their treasury.
No. That's already empty. You wouldn't.
You know what? I would. I can't use the siege behemoths for this one. That's okay. They can just keep stomping around before I ship them back.
They live there now.
Right. I have these 6 dice plus 1 is 7. That's double 9s against Symbia's treasury.
Yeah. Okay. Well, raiding here is, can steal some treasure.
Right, I can keep sustaining it.
Hmm.
It means I'll do it again. 55566.
All right. Yeah, you seize the means of production, really, right? It's the harbors, it's the ways that money can be made. Technically, with it being Malorites, right? The idea would be that they just break it; they don't really keep it. But by the rules of the games, you now have 5 treasure -2.
-2. And I'll stop there. And if user allegiance here will end the winter with a firm declaration to all of Symbia that if you do not divorce yourself from the Lady of Darkness that is threatening to consume this world, I will separate you myself.
Oh, that is, you're in a state of war. Because of course, many of the people are like, yeah, we don't want to fight you. But you also did, like, you burned down everything. You know.
Sure
You don't really
did.
get a choice in sort of a collective manner. If someone says like, "Oh no, I don't want to fight you," then they go, "Well, we'll do you the favor of burning this house that's next to you because you don't need that anymore."
Nope.
And then we'll hunt you for sport, not because of the war, just because that's sort of what we do now.
Yeah. This time of civilization needs to be taught a lesson of the force of nature.
Oh, this stranger has come to our town and asks us to surrender, to were-rat life. As a feral monster.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you've engaged. The Emerald Enclave is engaged in the war. On the change of the year, you will not heal your.
That's fine.
Similar to the others. I figure you understood. Now, what about the answer to Nathlok? Is there going to be one?
Yes. When midwinter rolls around, which will be like 31 days into the new year, I think the Green Dragon's answer will be yes. Novacree is an epic tier character. Find like how the ritual works, Novacree. We're gonna need a suitable dragon.
Yes, of course, you will need full access to the book.
You know what? He will. I can't spend time babysitting him right now. Here you go, buddy. It's gonna be the first time he ever gets to have the book unchaperoned.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he is gonna be.
Looks like a Sunday school Boy Scout. He's a very innocent face that says, wow, look at that. Real important book. I'm not gonna do anything bad with it.
He's earned the dragon's trust, but also like she's tired of babysitting him at the moment. She's busy doing other things.
Like, at this point, he's almost too powerful to need to betray anyone for power, right? Like,
exactly.
What more does he want, really?
Yeah.
That he could get from backstab. She doesn't really care that he eats another dragon if he wants to. This is not one of her ones,
Exactly.
He likes that attitude, This is all good. Great Emerald Enclave and all that. Yeah, he's.
Yep.
Nature! Yeah!
Yeah, he's been great at adapting. And if he's early to theory is after all this time, she just in a way she likes him. And so that's the reason why this relationship continues.
There's a part of him that's like, what if I became the Dragon King of Nathland? But then he's like, but I'd have to live in Nathland instead of like my beautiful Fey Tower.
Yes.
Yuck, humans.
It does sound like a lot of effort. Maybe it's rubbing off.
he likes the idea of being worshipped, but probably not. Like, he doesn't want to do anything for them. That doesn't really, he would have to like, hold court and stuff like that.
Really, in a way, like they already are worshipping him. It's because Nathlok and the bureaucrats heard about what happened in Novacree that they've been inspired to like pursue this path.
He pats himself on the shoulder.
Yeah.
He should, he probably has. He summons like a couple of Fae to pat him on the shoulder.
Of course
how
it
great
does.
he is. Shouldn't have to do mage hand to do it. Doesn't.
When Invy's Religious here takes her time down there to go visit next year to give the affirmative, she would prefer if there was a green dragon, since it's jade and it would fit in very well. But there's like other colors of like minerals, and Novacree has to take someone else. Okay, that would be nice.
It's gonna take extra time to get the aesthetics right. It's Novacree.
I knew I could trust him with aesthetics.
I could have found a red one, but
Obviously,
it just wouldn't.
it
match.
can't be a brass.
Like, no. He's the brass. He's the brass prince.
Yeah,
Like, that
the
doesn't.
brass prince.
You
You
to
know.
the brass city. Maybe he should go.
You can't do a blue one because it's too close to Anglispark. I know there's like dips. Yeah,
green makes sense. So like something like that.
Yeah.
You get
Black is too edgy.
surely there's more
Yeah.
forests around here, right? As the member of the Enclave, he can travel in forest very easily.
you sure can.
Hello, my fellow druids. Might you have seen a green dragon perchance somewhere? I want to have a chat.
I am friend of Emissary Literature.
He would introduce himself as the brass prince.
The thing about it is that as an epic tier character himself, he's got a reputation
They've
here.
heard of him.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh
He's
no,
been
this
here for
guy.
as long as I have been.
I don't think he's very well liked by nature generally.
I don't know. I mean, most of them probably don't have much of an opinion beyond like, oh yeah, it's Emissary's epic level like archmage person.
Yeah.
Because most of what he's done has been sort of on her.
Yeah, that's true.
He lives in an incredibly fancy tower. He's some sort of fae lord.
The other thing that I will do, it's not something that my character is going to do directly and like actually go to these places, but these psionic operatives, they're not needed with me because it's not like I'm going to be wielding them here, and I do have a suitable job for the Keepers of the Cerulean Sign and really like others who aren't the Duragar to go bundle up and do. Among the magic items I pursued to purchase, lamps discerning, casks of liquid gold, beds of rapid rest, everlasting provisions, endless canteens, feast tables, bowls of purity contained within handy haversacks, along with some healing ointment. A pavilion is going to be set, maybe between like Afkala and Crimor, with Paragon tier, psionic specialist and a couple like ritual casters to set up services to feed and shelter and help cure people of poison and disease. That is
I did wonder
huge
what you were going to do with 10 feast tables.
Yes. And, all the bowls of purity.
Imagine how many beholders you could sway.
The idea of that is to spread like the power and influence of the Green Dragon, like her name. That's what's being done, and to the extent of, like the Emerald Enclave, like nature is providing balance there. Like there's too much devastation that's happened there, and equilibrium needs to be restored. And it's too far away for the entire company to be like teleported over, but trained people who can hold their own and stand their ground can be there to do that.
Yeah.
And if the wealthy magocracy tries to shut down the pavilion, they're like the lives of the people she sends aren't worth losing. Come back here, let me know. I'll go deal with it myself.
I don't think the magocracy right now, actually, they're sort of losing a lot of power, as it turns out. It's really hard to do this whole thing when everyone's dying of plague. Not too much to worry about there. Especially if you're helping the situation.
I will be.
Which, I mean, with magical food and water and curatives everywhere, it's not like the psionics are like particularly anti-disease, but they're powerful people.
Yeah, they're powerful people. They're, the neutral genasi. And the power level is important as well, because it's a lot of like money that's being invested into this, and so you could easily see folks like trying to assault and take this stuff. I too would love to have a feast table in my home.
It probably wouldn't be good for me.
Yeah.
I think something brings a sustenance, right? But
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that'll be done. I don't think there's a role in there.
No, there's not. It's more like an act of goodwill that the dragon is making upon the campaign world.
Mhm.
Which is really a sign of like her shift in like philosophy and personal differences that she's still trying to work through.
Yeah, she doesn't seem as committed to. I mean, not liking the temple that she built, but like she's growing a lot in some direction. Doesn't seem like she's entirely sure where that is. And maybe that's okay. I mean, if she doesn't die now, she has time to figure it out.
Yeah, indeed, she does.
Dragons generally have long-term plans. This whole scramble to find an afterlife that's fit, it's a little sad in a way for a dragon to have to do.
All right, that's basically me taken care of for the entirety of the year. Harry, you have anything else you want to pursue? Not with your company, of course, but with you.
Yeah, I think Resicatrix is doing a lot of arcane rituals. She recently got a lot of powerful items, and now she has even an Archmage of Westgate to help her to reduce it to like just magic components, create new shit. I think she also she's keeping, of course, a close eye on Manchun. You know, uh, she probably, I'm guessing, could she hide from him? Could she like follow him?
uh, Probably. I mean, if you make an effort to hide and he doesn't make an effort to see you,
Right,
you know,
right.
he's very good at sneaky stuff though. Sort of his specialty. But
Yeah.
but yeah,
Well,
you
me
could.
too.
I can tell you, he seems to be on the up and up. He's not doing any sort of untoward, unexpectedly backstabby thing. He's giving good advice for the Black Network on how to expand and how to run operations, and even like relegating about old stashes in the city that has been left unfound for this long.
Right.
Um,
Great.
he's actually being quite a nice asset to have. In fact, putting it out there, should he become a long-term member of this and be trusted to operate, he might become an asset in
Right.
regards to running influence, espionage, sort of things.
Yeah. No, she definitely is seeing that. But that's what I mean. Like personally, she's definitely because she like until she has sort of made her mind up clear with that, she's not really comfortable leaving her hoard, her things.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because even though there are reinforcements around her hoard, clearly he can take them out.
Hmm.
Uh,
He seems happy to currently commit to this current relationship situation.
yeah.
You know, others of him, I'm sure, have done different things. Didn't work out, I guess. Could have worked out. That would have been interesting, but it didn't for them. So yeah, it didn't really work out for a lot of people, it turns out, except for Telemont. The nature of these things.
Yeah. Yeah, other than that, I wonder. I mean, company is fucking wrecked. Uh, See, that's the thing. Like, she would want to like go to Cormyr again, but as long as this guy is here, I don't know that she would feel comfortable. She might start taking like small, like like the trial run of like, oh, I'm going shopping, and then come back suddenly and see what he's doing, right?
So she's spending some time just keeping an eye out.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
testing,
that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what she's doing,
The
definitely.
fact that epic wizard duel, which is something that your character is gonna hate to begin with, like all these wizards, but they're murdering each other or trying to, so that's nice. But then like Char's chosen wins and is more invigorated by the victory. instead of like tired.
And now has
Yeah,
like a whole
right. I was
plan,
like,
a
at
whole plan
least they
for what's
must
gonna
be
happen.
tired. Oh no, not tired. Okay.
Now is my oh fuck me.
Actually, if nothing happens when she is like doing this for some time, she might go visit her hags. It's been a while.
Yeah, sure. That's the thing.
You know.
They still do prophecies, and just most of the stuff is just below your level of notice.
Yeah. I think yeah.
Or at least like
Just
mutating goblins. Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say, looking at my stuff, it's not like I can actually roll much, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll spend some time checking up on the area, the mountains again. She's been very centered in Westgate.
Remarkably peaceful.
Remarkable, please.
There's very little happening there, really.
Yeah.
Dwarves of
See, that's the thing,
Thunderhome are
right?
sort of doing their thing,
Like,
and
whatever happens, that doesn't calm her. It's
I
like,
mean, the only thing that makes it not calm is the constant thundering cracks of things exploding on the other side of them.
yeah. Yeah.
It's a distant sort of rumble, right? You can touch the ground, you can feel like it will shake sometimes. But Thunderhome, it's certainly a different way. They've closed their doors and tried to block out the constant thundering sound, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. I did play, like, with the thought of trying to direct one of these crashing moats into the Death King, like, in his area, but, like, again, you know, it's too late. It's
I think
too
he's not
late.
stuck in that area anymore. He can be wherever he wants.
Yeah.
Probably teleporting and jumping around and doing all sorts of things.
Yeah. She'll come back. Nothing seems to have changed. Maybe she'll seek out are the Chimerians still here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helping with the war
How,
effort, whatever they can, trying to recruit people, though it's really super effective.
yeah, it's gonna be hard in this city to recruit people for Cormier. Yeah, I don't know what. Like, I really want to go and fight in Cormier, but I don't know how I could. So
Yeah, what she's doing then is just gathering forces, right?
yeah,
Getting
sort
ready.
of checking up on a lot of things. I think maybe also again because she sees everything drained, right? So she's just doing what little things she can to try and prepare. Like arming up herself too with all these like magic researchers, and might even go to the library of the Dragon Thane just to like.
Beyond
I
that,
imagine there's.
uh, you know, uh, Darkhold might well be on the move next year.
Oh.
There is an effort apparently against this reptile god. The Centaurum worked along, or the Black Network worked alongside the Lord's Alliance, and you know what? It kind of was nice. It was kind of nice enough to fight each other, but like have a common enemy.
Mm.
And it really helps business too. Sure, they do some bad stuff, but as long as they're not caught, the other factions seem to sort of leave them
Yeah.
alone with it. And
Yeah.
maybe Cormac had the same relationship with them if they came in and like tried to do a thing. And if not, then it's not like the Netherrealm is going to fly their weird city over to Darkhold. I mean, surely not.
Yeah. I mean, the Cicatrix certainly, like, if she hears news of that, she'll certainly, like, weigh in her. Like, she definitely think that's a good idea. She sort of has managed to establish,
Well, they didn't like the old king of Cormia. They didn't like his two sons, but now all of those people are dead. So
yeah. No, we need Raedra on the throne.
She's currently like the only living
Yeah.
person.
No, yeah. That's the one I want.
But,
The
but they're
practical
not
one.
doing coronations. She might still stop.
No, I won't allow it.
Apparently, she was wounded fighting the like.
Yeah.
Well,
She needs to befriend a cleric of Saloon.
they just need so many spell slots. Right. Then I think that's probably where we will end things. I think we've gone through everything that I wanted.
Yeah.
And yeah. But next year we will see if Cormier falls, certainly things are pointing in that direction. So this intervention of the Emerald Enclave puts another strong player on the field and smacks Sembia upside the head, forcing them perhaps to pay attention to the other side, making
Yes.
it a bit more of a 1v1. Even though Cormier has aid from Tissier and Westgate, threw them the Dragonfane. Who knows what else might get involved? They still have a chance, even if.
Right, we need to make flying siege behemoths
Yeah.
so that we can take them up the fucking big castle.
Next year, I will not be sending like extra stuff to Cormier, as that extra stuff is basically being used to help Cormier already.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Since I'm now going to be recovering at half speed as well.
We have more. I mean, it's more than plus a couple points. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like it's more useful.
Yeah.
No.
Especially with Cormier's current roles.
Yeah, they were not great. Yeah, all right. Things turned out. I mean,
We had a crazy wizard battle.
I
don't like
I didn't want to do it, in downtime between sessions. It's too important to leave for that
Sure.
somehow. Yeah. We'll see. We could have a Netheril Ascendant yet, even if it's a different path than perhaps the original thought.
Maybe so. Though their lightning quick fighting to smash Cormier has certainly stalled out.
They rolled a lot of nothing. Once you roll like 3 nothings, you're down 3 points, and suddenly
I guess you.
Foe,
Yeah, I know, that was me last session.
Look, I understand. The only way I was able to do what I did was, even attacking at half strength, have Symbia be so weakened.
Guess they're just being dragged in. They're not that important. That's the problem of being like a colony.
Yep. I'm here to remind them of their importance and the fragility of life.
Yeah, what's the long-term perspective on that?
Uh,
to plant a new forest there, or what's?
I think it very well could be. We have the beautiful city of Saerloon, which is known for its Gothic architecture, and we have Selgaunt, which is the capital. Saerloon was originally called Chandathan as well. It's known for its exotic tastes and Gothic architecture, and for its mercantile activity seasoned by thievery and intrigue. And then Selgaunt is a large merchant port. Certainly, the structures which preserve and produce wealth have been kept in place by order of the Green Dragon, because money. The dragon appreciates that.
We need places to land.
Yeah, we need places to land. These harbors got to be functional. Not everyone gets to fly or be like a shark and travel through the water. We have other forces to ship and wear rats and other lycanthropes and what have you. But I think by and large, it's just an expansion of the power of the Emerald Enclave.
How about how does the Emerald Enclave treat the sort of the resistance people? Those that are fighting against the.
It probably depends on we're pretty loose and freewheeling. I think it depends on the druid or ranger or ally of the Emerald Enclave you end up running across, right? Whether it's someone who's on a kinder spectrum, someone who's really into a balanced purist, or someone who really likes hunting.
Yeah.
So I don't have a straight answer for you, just due to how the Emerald Enclave works. It's just kind of depends on who you run into.
How Malorites specifically work by just sort of.
Yep.
Not really working.
They don't.
They'll do like pack tactics, sure. But
They will. Large
yeah.
organizations and structures, though, aren't something that Malorites do. But I'm not a Malorite faction. I am the Emerald Enclave.
I am the Senate Emerald Enclave.
All right. Well, we certainly had events happen somehow. Netheril and Cormia are still both on the map. There were a lot of situations there where that wouldn't be true, but at least.
That's right, Ari. You've got one more year to try and hold it together. Keep the dream alive.
Yeah. Then one way or the other, something's
I'm
gonna happen.
struggling a bit as a player too. Like I don't really feel like I have a direction.
I mean, the ritual was your direction. The reason why you were seeking aid from Cormir was against the undead stone giant. That's what got you involved in this whole mess. Otherwise, you wouldn't have bothered.
Yeah, but
I guess
the
I would ask
timing
you
are not really lining up anymore. Like I don't know.
Right. It might just be a situation where the ritual stuff matters more in preparing for, like, having a confrontation with the undead stone giant once again for you. I think that seems like more prudent for your resources.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I think in the case of your dragon, like, you really committed a lot to keep Cormir propped up. And certainly, like, your effort in weakening the Netheril Empire, I think, played a pivotal role in keeping Cormir propped up.
Yeah.
But with that clock in your dragon's head, how many more sessions you want to spend trying to keep them propped up?
Research is happening, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I can't even the research can't be sped along. So,
I mean, the only way for that is to somehow get a bunch of bonuses to it, right? To get those 40s.
Yeah, but I already have done that. Like I have bought items that enhance my bonuses. I have take talent charts when I do a roll. And now I have an archmage that gives me +2. I can't really up my rolls that much more.
Might be a chance at some point to bring Missouri in.
Yeah.
Introducing other epic tier wizards could have been the thing too. Oh, Sage of Shadowdale, assist me! But you don't trust wizards, and he was occupied.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what's happening? Go to Ari. You're worried. Reckoning is not about.
Yeah, the clock's not a Yaffle clock.
Yeah, I figured. Just because it would be too soon.
Well, I mean, I do have a Yaffle clock, but but it's not. So you got to grow up first.
Well, maybe if that Citadel crashes on her head, if she's still in Suzail Marsember.
Not too bad.
That could have been an outcome, too. I don't know whether she's actually still there. That would have been some bad luck.
It is. Well, the soul is fighting for Cormir.
Right.
Desperately battling with these powerful draconic sorcery powers.
Yes. Good news, everyone. The Citadel collapsed. Bad news, dragons. You feel a tug upon your essences.
Yeah, well, I hope you have an enjoyable session.
Yeah. I like seeing your actions that you took, Ari. Your role play with Manchun, the true clone.
Right? It's like, the true. I am the true one. It's like, yes, I'm sure. That's
very
nice.
Seeing you in that role play situation. That was pretty humorous. And I look forward to more antics like that. I could have just give me an entire sitcom of you and like those clones.
One dragon and 4 Manchurians living in a house together.
Ugh.
What wacky hijinks will they get
What
up
way-
to
oh,
this time?
no.
It's like, and then Salasnar comes by. Oh, and again, sorry. Like,
Everyone
oh,
claps
no.
as she walks in the door. You know.
Let's talk about it. No. Yeah.
I don't want to have a conversation. I'm tickled by Martane already. Like, perhaps being hooked on the idea of, yeah, what if we just beat down all the nature gods?
In my mind, it's kind of funny because he, like, with his attitude, like, you're shifting away from Malar, and he's a little, like, he's gaining a little bit of the influence of, like, yes, I will just beat down my enemies, and show them that I am the strongest, and then they will have to accept it, right? And it's like, what is happening?
In a way, helping the chosen of like Sylvanas accomplish all of like Sylvanas' goals is like picking a side, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Balance.
If there's any argument to be made, and like, well, I guess we're here now. Guess my choice has been made. It would be that. She likes Martane too. Hasn't felt that kind of connection since Amrath.
Right. I miss my hag. It's the true reason I haven't went visiting. In my mind, they don't even exist anymore. I mean, there's no icon, which doesn't help. But like they're just like, yeah, there's just some hags. Like they don't have a name.
Yeah, you've outgrown what they're capable of prophesying. They're like,
Well, it's like, I mean, it's interesting to get knowledge, but it's like, I mean, it's just
you're level 28. Crazy
these are
shit's
just
happening.
children, like.
I mean, they're not really children anymore by this point. It's just like it's kind of inaccessible. Like you already know. Like,
I got one. I'll give you a hag. Sure.
No, I don't care. You don't want a discount hag.
No, well,
I had the good one.
Maybe you just
Maybe I'll like her.
the oldest